The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by this podcast, as well as its hosts, are for entertainment purposes only. I repeat, it is not serious. It is not real. No one is exposing, revealing, indicting, or telling you anything about themselves. Also, we do not encourage you to try this at home. We are trained professionals who do not have your best interests at heart, or our own. Enjoy the show.
Heary. How's everybody doing? Salutations, greetings, blessings to you all. What's going on? What's up?
How the hell are you?
I couldn't be better. There we go. This is just a quick temp check around the room. Make sure everyone is great.
I'm great.
Fantastic.
Healthy, full of love.
We woke up this morning.
That is true. Every day above ground is a good one. I'm into that. Today, this is the Keno show.
The Keno show.
This is the Keno
show.
The Keno show.
The Keno show.
Yeah, my bad. This is 100% the Keno show. I'm here in a supportive role. We have Amani here with us. Corey is here. Parks is here. And I'll let Keno introduce our guest, who I am thrilled, absolutely thrilled to have. I want to preface with that before we start. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time out to be with us today. I think all podcasting should just revolve around like people like her.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do.
I'm excited to learn about this then.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. Keno, please.
Thank you.
So I let me start off. I think because me and Parks haven't really had this conversation. But a few weeks ago, E asked me, my girl asked me to go to a dinner.
Wait.
There's a lot of E's.
Oh, no. Do me a favor. Repeat that though. Let's repeat that.
My girl E.
Your girl E.
Not
Girlfriend.
E the singer, podcaster, or E the videographer.
Okay.
Your
girlfriend
girl E.
E. Yes. So she asked me to go to dinner, which I don't really do the dinner friend dates things. But it was her birthday weekend, and I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point. But it was a birthday weekend, and she had a friend who has a birthday the same weekend. So she said, I would love for you to come hang out with me and a few of my friends at dinner. I reluctantly said yes. We go to dinner, and dinner was cool. It was a cool little place. And afterwards, they decided that they wanted to go back to one of their apartments to cut the cake, play some ping pong, shit that I just don't do. Like, I'm not really that interested.
You don't
in
cut cake?
I don't hang out with people I don't know. Right.
Ping pong is cool.
I don't like to. And I can't play ping pong. So it really
hard.
wasn't that.
It's a hard sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hard sport.
So we ended up going back to the apartment, and I didn't necessarily want to be there. So I decided to try to have some Molly on me. So I decided.
Okay.
It's escalated real quick.
It really did.
So I just decided to try to talk everybody into doing some Molly.
You just so happen to have some Molly on.
Yeah.
So
Enough for
happened to have-
everybody.
Enough for everybody. By the bundle.
Let's preface that.
Yeah, let's- everybody, of course, didn't do it. So a few of us did it, and
Got
Played
to
ping
save.
pong.
Got to save some Molly.
so a few of us did it, and we started having this conversation, and we just started talking. And I don't know if you've ever done Molly before. I know you've done Molly before,
I've done Molly.
but you kind of get talkative, and it wasn't like the high sexual energy type of vibe. So it was more of a
It was
talkative vibe.
the deeper talk vibe.
Exactly.
I've
And
never
so-
had that Molly.
Yeah, it's
Really?
either one or
that's
the
a good
other.
Molly.
Yeah, I've had the other one.
No, what you got? It's the environment.
Okay.
Like if you took it in this environment, we would probably have a deep. It wouldn't be a sexual conversation.
Okay.
So one of the gentlemen there, I think his name was Sean. We were talking about books and spirituality and blah 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 blah. And he, I remember him saying, "You must have done what was it called? What was the program he kept saying? The thing he did." Kept asking, what's some program? I can't remember what it was. And I was like, no, I've never heard of that. And then he said, wow, I wish I would have remembered everything when I died. And I was like, what do you mean you died? He
Wait,
said,
that's what dude said.
Dude said. So he said, I had a heart attack at 31 and I died, but I don't remember shit. And I was like, okay. And he's like, well, she died. And Fran was sitting over there. He's like, well, she died 3 times and she remembers everything. And I looked at her, I said, wait, you died 3 times? And she said, yeah. I said, wait, you died and you remember? She said, I remembered everything. And I immediately text Joe, and I was probably high too. I was like, Joe, I'm sitting next to
Probably
somebody
high.
who died three times.
No, you was high.
Yeah, I was high.
You were definitely
was high.
Ain't no problem.
And so we had gotten into this deeper conversation. And I remember us talking about, they started talking about ayahuasca and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he had been trying to get me to do ayahuasca for a minute. And at one point I was going to do it. And then I was like, I don't really want to do it. I just kind of felt like it wasn't something I wanted to do. And Fran said the plant would do nothing for him. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And she was like, you're just evolved spiritually. That's not really something. It would probably knock. How did you explain it? It would probably make you uneven or something spiritually. And so I kind of puffed my chest out. I'm like, yeah, the plant ain't
So
gonna
you
do shit
feeling
for me.
yourself at this point.
Yeah, I'm feeling myself.
You in your bag now.
So now I'm talking shit and we talking, and she's looking at me, and I feel like there's
And that's exactly who I want to be around on Molly.
Sure.
yeah.
Whoever is telling me this stuff,
Yeah.
this is we're having a time right now.
So she's looking at me, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know, you know me. I'm like, maybe she's flirting, but I'm high. So I'm like, maybe she's flirting with me. But he is there.
And that's what I would have said. I would have said, I think I can fuck.
So I'm looking, and she's kind of looking. I'm like, what is it? What do you see? And she's like, nothing.
Oh, yeah,
Talking a little bit more, and I'm like, oh, okay, what do you see? Now I'm starting to get a little antsy because I feel like there is something that is to be said. And at one point I remember her saying, how long have you felt it, or something like that? And I said 7 or 8. But I didn't she didn't say much more than that. So I was like, well, what do you mean? And she was like, well, how long have you felt different? And I was like, yeah, like it was like 7 or 8. So it got to a point, and again, maybe it's the Molly, but I almost felt like we were having this conversation without really talking.
It was Molly.
Was it the Molly?
Definitely the model.
No, listen, it was energy, and so
Molly helped.
the Molly helped. The Molly helped.
Sure.
Exactly, because
You let down your guards,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
And so I kept kind of trying to prod her to tell me what it was she was seeing, and she wouldn't tell me.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, listen, we'll exchange numbers, do a session or whatever. Now, she read some things about my business. She read some things about my kids, knowing none of this. And I just thought it was crazy that she knew so much about me. And we hadn't really talked. We hadn't talked at all for the most part. I go home, and we don't talk. This is Sunday now. I have the issue with E that we talked about in the last Saturday night. I had the issue. Monday comes, and I go to sleep like it's a regular fucking night. Nothing different, right?
No Molly.
No Molly. Completely sober. And I had a dream around 1:30 in the morning. Now, I remember it was 1:30 in the morning because I eventually hit E. But the dream was, and a short version of it was, my dog had passed in the dream. Something had happened, my dog had passed, but I had felt like a real intense sense of loss. It's the craziest shit I've ever felt in a dream. I immediately hit E, and I'm like, yo, you know what? Whatever happened between us happened. Like let's just let bygones be bygones. It was almost like a feeling of life is too short. Mm-hmm. Go back to sleep, and I just had a succession of dreams, back to back to back, and they all were feeling like this intense. One dream I felt pain, like I physically felt pain in my dream. I've never had that happen. I don't know if you guys have ever had that happen. Everything was about loss. And the interesting thing was there was a point where before I started having this succession of dreams where I thought I was having a lucid, what do they call it?
Hallucination.
Lucid dream? Where I thought I was up, but I was asleep. And I remember seeing this like
between worlds.
between worlds. That's funny. Is that true?
That's what it is.
So I thought I was seeing like this weird looking cross in my room. And I felt somebody behind me telling me to turn around.
Oh, that's sleep paralysis, no?
Yeah.
Well, sleep paralysis, you can't wake out of it,
Ah.
right? So he's just having a vision about what's going on.
Okay.
But I'll explain to you.
Okay,
when you
sure.
finish your
Sorry to
story.
interrupt.
So I didn't. And by the way, we haven't discussed.
No.
I haven't. So
No, we haven't.
I'm something is telling me to turn around, and I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm turning around right now. And I seen this object that, like I said, looked like an off kilter cross, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. And it was like, turn around, and I was like, I'm not doing it. So I lay there until I fall back to sleep, and that's when I start to have a succession of dreams. Different dreams, very short, but the last dream I had, actually part of the dream was the podcast. I remember going into my last dream. I'm on the podcast. For some reason, Flippin' Royce is there, and everybody is white on the podcast, and it's the weirdest shit. This podcast is weird. And so I remember, like, why is everybody white? So I leave and I walk into this kitchen area of a restaurant, and I see two people there. It's an older woman and a man. They tell me to follow them. And I'm like, okay, where are we going? They say, well, you have to look behind this door. And I said, there's no fucking way I'm looking behind this door. And it's like, you have to look behind this door. I said, no. And this was one of the more interesting parts for me in the dream. I remember telling them, if you try to make me look behind this door, I'm going to wake up and this whole dream will be over. At this moment, the third lady comes in.
Way to threaten him.
Yeah. Like, but I'm conscious of, it was each dream I had, I felt like I either physically or emotionally felt it, but I was very conscious that it was a dream sequence where I could actually interact.
Isn't that by definition subconscious?
Yeah.
What? Being aware?
In your sleep?
No, you're not aware of your subconscious. That's the definition of subconscious. To be unaware.
Right.
Is beyond consciousness.
But you sleep.
Yeah, that's called a dream. So a third lady appears and she says, he's not ready. We have to send him back. And they have a conversation. Listen, I will show you the
text messages?
I'll tell you. Yeah, listen. So
Corey is an asshole.
no, it is cool because he was one of the first people I told this dream because some things happened.
He would be the
dream.
last person. I would never tell Corey about any of these dreams. Why would you do that?
Because it fucked me up when I had it.
Okay.
So the last dream was basically like them telling me that they needed to show me something. I wouldn't do it. A third lady appears. She tells them that I'm not ready to see whatever it is that they're trying to show me. Mm-hmm. We end up in the back of me and the older lady, we end up in the back of what I think looks like a Suburban. At least in my head, I'm picturing a Suburban. And she says, I'm so sorry that we thought you were ready. We have to send you back.
Yeah, you're not ready yet.
And at the end of at that moment, a voice came above and was like, your dream sequence is now over. Goodbye. And I woke up. And I remember thinking, nobody is going to ever believe this shit. This is about 3 a.m. now. The reason why I know it because I won something, I text E. So now I'm texting her all the dreams. It's like I have pages and pages of because
Did you take a melatonin?
No. No.
Sometimes that shit give you some weird dreams.
No, it was. I literally had to write it all down because I was
you
like,
making me want to get back on Molly.
The affect.
The new Molly. Wow.
No, listen, I didn't know how to take it, so I'm writing all of this shit out, and I lay back down, and I'm like, all right, I felt like the dream was over, and so I lay back down, and I'm about to close my eyes to go to sleep, and when I look ahead, I turn back over my side and look ahead, and I see my dresser and my TV. It was the shape that I had been looking at the entire time. The original dream where I thought I was dreaming, the dude told me to turn around, and I was like, maybe I'm asleep. I definitely wasn't asleep because the image I was looking at that I was transfixed on without trying to turn around was actually in my room. It was my TV and my dresser. So I go to sleep. I text E and I say, E, I don't know who that lady was. Actually, I said, I don't know who the fuck that lady was you introduced me to. But this is what's happening. She was like, yo, you need to call. Did you talk to Fran? And I said, no.
They got him.
Nah. So, and so I text Fran at 7 in the morning.
Put a little something in your drink that night.
This is 2 days later. It's 2 days later. And I text Fran that Monday morning, probably like 6:30.
At no point at this juncture, do you feel like my girl lined me up?
Nah. Line me up for what? To have a spiritual moment?
You called her and made amends for all of the fuck you talking about. Lined you up for what?
You
called her
you
and
had
said,
dreams
hey,
dealing with intense loss.
Yeah.
Like we all do when our girl is off us. Y'all fought. You wasn't really getting the message.
You was home alone.
Nah.
You hit her. Hey, all of that shit that happened. I love you because life is too short.
And even if we're not just talking about whatever happened, right? Like sometimes, as we communicate with our spouse or significant other, there could just be walls and barriers up, right? you could have a guard up that your partner recognizes and is not sharing. So if she know two people that get in this bag and say, hey, babe, come out with me tonight. It's a couple friends. And now all of this shit starts happening after that, I would 100% look at my girl like, yo, you line me up.
All right, you know, that's an interesting thing. So
You're a bruja.
so that's an interesting thing. So a few days after I have, the 2 days after I had a dream, I have to go see my accountant, Bruce Seckendorf calls me. Bruce calls me and says, listen, I haven't seen you in a minute. Come out to the office, let's have lunch. So I go out to Long Island, me and Bruce, we're talking, he's like, let's go eat. We go to lunch. We're about to go to lunch. He says, you want Italian or American? I said, I don't really care, Bruce. Whatever you want to pick. We go to this restaurant. We're sitting in Queens, whatever, borders of Queens and Long Island. We're talking. And I said, yo, Bruce, I had this crazy dream, blah, blah. And I started to talk. It's me and him by ourselves in the exact same restaurant I had in the dream. I will call Bruce. I looked at Bruce as I'm telling him. I said, Bruce, you're gonna think I'm fucking crazy. The dream that I was, the restaurant that I was in, I'm sitting here. Continue to laugh. Things just kept happening. My thing is this. Could that be true? Yeah, then that would mean that I'm sitting here thinking that my girl would want to scheme on me. That is what it is.
Or learn more about you.
By the way,
but just learn more.
By the way, I've always been a skeptic of something like this. She would tell me this type of shit. I would laugh at it. But sometimes when you go through shit, you kind of have a sense of,
what did you go through?
Could this be real?
His nephew.
The feeling. Nah. It wasn't
You went
my
through a
nephew.
feeling?
No, it's the feeling you get. And I went down a rabbit hole of trying to learn about this shit. Because my thing is, I would be on the same side of the couch or conversation as y'all are. But when you start to really go down a rabbit hole, what I'm saying is not an experience that's indicative to me. It's not a brand new thing. People have been experiencing this for a very long time. And so I started reading books. Like she recommended a book that I read called Many Lives, Many Masters, right? Mm-hmm. About these types of things, living multiple lives and these types of experiences. The interesting thing that I read when I started reading this book is about David, what's his name? Something Wise, Dr. Something Wise. Brian Wise. Psychiatrist, Yale graduate.
Non-believer.
What'd you say?
He was a non-believer.
He was a non-believer. And his book, he says this. He says in his book, when you read the preface, everything that I'm writing in this book is 100% true. The only thing I changed was her name because of client privilege. Mm-hmm. When you read the book, and then when you really go down this rabbit hole of past lives, the understanding of spirit or consciousness versus what we know. It's been written in books. And I know you don't really believe in none of this, but for those of us who do, I believe in God, and I believe there's a higher power. When you start to go down this rabbit hole, you realize that this shit is way bigger than what I experienced. And I didn't experience a fifth of what she experienced in this story. But when I touched down to LA, my first question was, and there's two things I want to know. One thing I do want to know is the vision you saw that night. And if we've shared any other past experiences. So I think before I guess we get into anything, y'all talk shit about me like I'm fucking crazy. I think we should introduce Fran to the show. So this is Fran, the young lady who saw the vision, who has a very interesting story of dying 3 times in her life. I don't know if you guys have ever believed in dying and seeing your death. And has had an extraordinary experience with this type of stuff. And you guys can figure it out on your own if it's true or not.
Okay. Hi, Fran.
Hi.
How you doing, Fran?
Make some noise for Fran.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here, Fran.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I see that.
Sounds
I
like
can
we're
see it
lucky
in
to
your
have you
eyes.
here.
I see it in your eyes. All I ask before we start, can you pull that microphone a little closer to your mouth?
There we
They're
go.
good?
Perfect.
You tell me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There you
They're
go.
beautiful.
Listen, we're all ears.
So Frank, can you tell us about let's say the first time you died, and can you tell us the story and what it was and what happened? And
So I'm going to tell a little bit about myself.
Perfect.
So like that, you guys get to learn who I am, right?
Sure.
So Born in Cuba.
Okay.
Came to the United States when I was 6, raised here in Hudson County. And I came from a very humble beginning. My parents were farmers in Cuba. And my first experience, it was knowing that I was not from this planet, but in this planet for now.
Okay.
So transitioning through this period called human life. I was a little girl, and I was 3 years old, and I had this finger, and my brother was cutting the lawn, and it had blades. So the finger got chopped, and it was hanging from here. So every time they took me in, and every time they were going to cut the finger, my father would just hold the hand of the doctors. And then finally he fainted. So when he fainted, they walked away, they put 2 sticks, and they said, just bring her home back tomorrow. We'll cut it off tomorrow and, make sure that he's going to be okay. Don't bring him the next day. And when they did that, the finger came together. And so my finger came out as a miracle because they had never seen a finger that was hanging from the thread of the skin just come together again. And the beauty behind that is because then I played piano. So I became a pianist, and the reason I became a pianist is I had a lot of situations going through life, and when I came to the United States, I came looking like Forrest Gump because my brother back to my brother playing with matches, I fell off a table and this knee was hitting this knee. So I had to wear a brace, and they would tighten it up and tighten it up and tighten it up.
Your brother had it out for you.
He did, yeah. He's 5 years older than me, so he
Glutton for
probably wanted
punishment.
all that attention, So through that, I had various experiences. I would look out into the universe and wonder why I was here. So I'm not here to prove anything to you guys. I'm here to just share my heart.
Okay.
Right? So I embrace everybody's belief. Actually, I've studied about religion just because I wanted to understand why my soul chose this human experience and chose my parents. Because your parents don't choose you, you choose them. So when you meet people and something beautiful for you, you'll meet some people that you don't want to be around. And then you meet people, you're like, I want to be in your life for the rest of my life, right? Whatever that looks like. And so being a musician, my mother had some health issues that led me into real estate. So I became a commercial real estate broker and started helping people with that. And then I had the gift of having 2 amazing daughters. And one daughter's an actor. My other daughter's became a nomad after working for me in real estate. And now we hold retreats. And the reason I hold these retreats is to be able to connect our souls, because what was happening when you were sleeping is that we are in the age of Aquarius, and the veil is very thin right now. So if you read, and I have it on my phone that your cousin and nephew has, there's some inserts that are happening right now that we're going to go into a new generational expansion of self. So there's more people looking to get together, right, and be able to have these conversations. Because I think you read my paragraph, my chapter in the book, right? So for me, I never would talk about spirituality because being Cuban, commercial real estate broker, to earn the respect, 90% of my clients are Jewish, to be able to learn the respect and the trust to invest your money and to be able to work in real estate. I've been working real estate in this area since 1982, when none of this existed, right? So to earn that respect, I said, if I talk about spirituality, people are going to think I'm a wacko. Being Cuban, they already put you into religion, the same thing you were saying, does your girl have it out for you? And I know this woman for so many years that it's like, why did you even come together? Right? So saying that, my first experience being medically declared dead was here in Palisades Hospital. I was in Mexico doing a tour. I was bringing tourism into Mexico, and I had a bottle of Perrier. I knew not to drink water, but it had mold inside.
Okay.
Right? So I didn't notice the mold until it was too late. And I dehydrated. They flew me back as an emergency back into New Jersey. I was at Palisades Hospital, and just they couldn't get my veins, and they put the sheet over my head. They put the pallet to bring me back, didn't come back, put the sheet over my head, and it was so beautiful to die. So For example, anybody who's crossed over, depending on how their experience was doing that, understand that, and you can talk, there's a lot of movies that are out there, there's a lot of books about it. The reason I share Brian Weiss is because I feel that unless you read about it from a psychiatrist, or unless you read about it from somebody that you're going to trust their information, right? So Leonard Orr really started doing past life regressions. And I've been very blessed to have had many beautiful relationships that follow my thought of looking for my reason and my purpose to being here. Like, why am I even here? Why am I sitting here today, right? Like, there's a reason we come together. There's a reason.
They're so quiet right now.
There's a reason and a season, right? So I live from non-attachment, because when you're attached, you have expectations. So I am knowing that my mess is my message. And so when that happened and I did transmute, it was beautiful because my grandma came for me. And it was a beautiful experience with her. It was a beautiful conversation. For me, the 3 times are recorded, the other 6 are not, right?
So you died 9 times.
Yes, so far.
So you're a cat.
Yes. So
wait.
What that means is your heart stops, right? And you're brought back. But the other times I was with people doing work, and it had nothing to do with medical conditions, but spiritual conditions.
Okay.
And I elaborate around that.
What's the longest you've died?
Excuse me?
What's the longest time you've died?
The longest was 5 minutes and 32 seconds.
And you saw everything?
You see everybody. So for me, in my experience, right, because I talk to a lot of people, like with Sean, right, that doesn't remember. I have become a seeker of who else has experienced what I have experienced, right? Because I want to know their stories. I want to know what you have gone through. What do you remember? What don't you remember? What does that look like for you? And for me, it was seeing my family. It was beautiful, right? And for me, I did see that white tunnel. But then again, it's because I live a life where I don't want to live from regret. So whatever I'm going to say to you, I'm going to say it to you. I live from a place of content, right? I don't want to go to sleep ever, including my children's father, ever, that I have anything left to say to you, because I don't know if I'm going to wake up. So if you spend time with me, you're always going to understand that when everybody says, "Hey, how are you? How you doing?" I say, "I'm having a fabulous day. I woke up this morning," because how many people didn't, right? So are you taking your journey here for granted? Are you taking your journey here? They chose to come here to do something. Because if you're doing it for yourself, you're going to be fucked up. If you're doing it to be able to be in contribution to somebody else, then that's where the joy is. Like, why do you do what you do this for? Why do you even have a podcast? Who are you trying to impress? Or are you going to be impressive to another person that they too can have something, whatever that quality of life is, information, whatever knowledge you put out into the world, whatever music you put out into the world, we're all dancing somehow, right? So coming back into my body was very painful every single time. It was sort of like, yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but why?
No.
What do you think kept bringing you back? Because if it was so beautiful, and you kind of felt, it sounds like you were very happy in the death.
I was.
What brought you back?
My mom.
Okay.
So the first time was seeing my mom distraught, and my father crying with my grandmother leaving the room. And I see the whole thing happening, and I'm here looking at the tunnel. I don't know if you ever watched the movie Ghost. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the best depictions of what happens, right? You're leaving versus you're here, right? So I see my father leaving the room with my grandmother. I see my mother beating on the doctor, and I have a whole thing. We'll have to pick up my book because I am running about it in my autobiography. But I see my mother really like arguing with the doctor, try again, because they didn't want to try anymore, right? And so my grandmother says, "You have a lot to do. Understand, I'm only 23 at the time, right?" And she said, "You have a lot to do. Go back." And I looked at her, I looked at my mother, and I just, the one thing that was very impactful is that, that breath that you take, which everybody I've talked to understands that breath, because it's like that's why I'm a yogi also, right? It's like a breath you take in, and then 2 days, I said to my mother the next day, I'm signing myself out of the doctor. The IVs, hospital, the IVs kept spilling. I was going to really be gone if I didn't get out of the hospital, right? And she just, I said, I knew it. So that's the first time,
Does it feel like birth when you come back? Do you remember when you were born?
That's a great question. What I have experienced, because I've been in the healing journey since I was 16, being come from a life, my ancestors all were into the healing modalities, was that there's periods that I forget. So there's a synopsis that happens in the brain. He said something very interesting before about the subconscious mind. So when you understand that when you're sleeping, the only thing that's resting is your body, your soul is traveling. And you can read about that, right? I mean, your soul is the one that's traveling. Your soul is traveling, and anybody who's crossing into those barriers of understanding the veil, of understanding, shifting into your own psyche, shifting into your own consciousness, because everybody has some sort of modality that just tapped into it or not because they choose it or not. You can choose to just be close. You can choose that I don't want to believe in shit. You can choose that I want to hear. You can choose I want to see. There's people, all of a sudden you might be driving, I don't care whether you're stoned or not, or Molly's or whatever you're on, because I've walked people through ayahuasca ceremonies. I've been doing a lot of things, guys. I used to help out, and there was a group that we did at the UN called the Peace Department, and there's a guy named James Twyman who writes about indigo children. So if you don't know what indigo children are, something to look into, right?
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. So indigo children, and there's a big depiction about them in the movie The Matrix, whether you've watched that or not, where there are children that come here remembering their other lifetimes, and they can move things with their mind. There's people who can bend forks and knives and move them, because they can do it with their mind. Your mind is the least tapped in thing that we use. There's so much happening in our brain, and there's a guy named Dr. Michael Colgan who's written 14 books on the brain, and we still don't understand it. Our mind is so powerful that we don't really use it. We can use it for whatever we want to say, that we want to learn about, that whatever we want to share about, whatever that looks like. So what happens is when people are going through that, you usually start waking up around 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to understand everything that happened before, or then being able to fall asleep and waking up and going, my God, like, what was that all about? When they were saying to you, turn over, and you decided not to, right? That's a decision, it's choice. One thing we're never removed from is choice. That's why I don't come to anywhere or talk to anybody and say to them, no, this is the thing, this is the right thing, you are a spiritual person, you should believe in something, because the only thing you're here to believe is in yourself.
So I think it's interesting that when I was looking for research on this, I found that the idea of people who have had these experiences, a lot of professional people, a lot of people that would be considered trusted people in society, are embarrassed to talk about these things because of the ridicule. C is my man. I love this guy. But when I told him, he laughed, right? So it's interesting as we have these
You told a bunch of people. I wouldn't tell nobody shit.
Why would you tell nobody?
It's not their business.
Well, it's one of those things that...
And especially if I'm a true believer and I experience your dream of people telling me, yo, you're not ready yet, send them back. I'm definitely not going back to tell the mere fucking mortals about some shit. I'm going to peep game.
No. You know why? For me, when the third lady went and looked, and I never saw what she saw behind the door, right? But what I imagined, and I told this when I was telling it, I told everybody this. What I saw, what I didn't see, but what I felt was there was stairs, it was black, and it felt like death and carnage.
Why did black relate to death?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. So I don't.
But you said black related to death.
Maybe because it was I couldn't see through it. There was no light. There was no light. It wasn't black as in color. There was no light. I can only feel.
So you relate death to light or dark?
I don't know. This is all new to me.
Okay.
This is all new. But what I will tell you is that I seen the next day I seen a succession of traffic accidents. There was a lady on Route 5 where you come down, where you come down the road and it winds. Her car was completely turned over. I seen 2 accidents back to back within about an hour and a half before the police got there. Her car was completely turned over. She was squished in the realm, and I took a picture of it. I said, Eve, the first accident
You took a picture? You didn't try to help her?
No, I was standing right there. I couldn't. I had to wait for the police. I took the picture after the police came. You can't do anything in that. You can't pull them out of the car. You don't know how hurt they are. So I had to wait there for the ambulance and the police to get there.
So you took a picture.
And then when they came, I took a picture when I left. And the reason why I took a picture, because the first accident I saw that morning, someone hit a car and then ran into a bridge. And I didn't take the video, and I hit E. I'm like, E, she was in Arizona. I'm like, yo, listen, remember the dream? I just seen this crazy accident. Police haven't even showed up yet.
So everything that's now happening to you, you're relating back to the dream. You think that these things are all on purpose?
Were there premonitions for you?
I don't know what they were. It was an experience. That's how I would explain it. It was an experience.
How do you see it?
It's life. Things happen.
You think coincidence?
No, it's not coincidence. I see accidents every day. If I have a dream and I decide to correlate things that happen outside of my dream that just happened and be like, oh, this is what I can correlate whatever. If I have a good imagination, or if I'm in a mindset of now saying, hey, everything that I'm seeing might be falling back into this dream that I had or into this imaginative state that I have, then I can start to correlate things. I can start everything that I can see happen, I can derive some sort of correlation and tie it together.
Can I pull back
That's
to something
interesting
you said?
because
Well, go ahead.
And he chooses to believe it's no connection over a connection. It's just a choice what you choose to believe or not. It's funny how somebody would just choose not to believe something you feel.
Because that's what's safe for you, though.
I can't
Understand that, though. What you choose to believe is what keeps you in your righteousness of what you believe in already. So there's nothing that needs to be quantified or argumentative around that, right? Because that's what you believe.
Right.
So then you can be right about being right.
until you feel it.
If you want to, right?
Until you feel it.
Until you want to, right?
Right.
Because there's people that go through this journey, and a lot of people, to interject on that, can that be moved a little bit so I can see him or no?
Move
The-
over
the-
here.
Yeah, she about to read Corey.
No, I just want to be
Yeah,
able to.
read.
I like to see the
That's why
people
you got those-
talking to
Yeah,
me.
that's disrespectful.
Very cute, but
Yeah. He
But-
feels safe with his shades.
yeah. You see, so it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
safety of not being seen,
Exactly.
right? Because if you are seen,
Exactly.
right?
You can't see me?
Because it's
No,
not.
no, no, I
It ain't sunny in
I
here.
couldn't see you.
Only one with sunglasses.
I couldn't see you, so.
He brought his darkest shades out today.
So what happens is that becomes your, and it doesn't mean that it's safe or not safe. It's just your mode of operation that works for you until it doesn't, right? And it doesn't ever have to get there, because a lot of people, when they're getting to the, if you ever do any, go to hospice or talk to anybody who's in their last days, and you ask them, what do you regret the most, right? And those experiences, or being able to be open to an experience, might be something. But you're perfectly fine and happy with, because you said something, you said dreams. So you do dream and you do believe do you remember your dreams, or they just don't show up?
Sometimes I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had things like what he's saying, saw something, it looked like an object, but it was actually the thing that was sitting there. Mm-hmm. I've had all of that happen. I think that your imagination can lead you many places. I think that we look for answers in everything. That is who we are as human beings. We need an answer to everything. This happened. How did that happen? Why did that happen? That is who we are as people. So we want the answer to every single thing. And so that's what, when he was telling me that, and he was correlating everything back to the fact that him and his girl had an argument. They broke up.
No, that wasn't.
No, that's the inception of before the dream. So what I'm saying is everything that he talked about was dark and loss. That's everything that he had talked about was dark and loss. And it correlated to me was Oh, he was going through something with his
Go,
girl.
go
And
get
then
your back.
all of a sudden, and the only person that he was hitting was his lady.
That's not, nigga, I told you.
After
told
you hit
Imani.
your lady.
Stop, because it's 3 in the morning.
Stop. I'm only speaking the facts. After you hit your lady, I know. Yeah, you told me. But all of this,
Yeah,
the
you
person
skewing
that
the
he
facts,
communicated with was the woman that he felt uneasy about. He woke up out his dream and he immediately said, "Hey, life's too short. We should be but all of this don't matter. This, that, and the other." All of these things coincide to me, and what I think that people don't look at sometimes the simplistic nature of a feeling. And then they look deeper into it, and it's like, oh, this meant this and this meant that.
Is a
How do you
feeling
not
really
know
that
your
simple
deep?
though? Is a feeling
Yes,
really
it can be that simple. I don't think that everything is that deep. I think that some things are deep, but I don't think that everything is that deep.
You just spoke about the imagination as if it's a minuscule thing. But everything in this fucking room was imagined before it was created.
1,000%.
So that just shows the power
That's right.
of the imagination.
1,000%.
Everything we see on a daily basis was imagined before it was created. So how can you discount the power of what that is?
I'm not discounting anything.
When you speak about it like it's just imagination, it's just a dream. It's like
We
there's
deal
nothing
with imagination every single day.
There's nothing that's created that doesn't start there.
We deal with imagination every day. It's like second nature to us.
Is
But I'm
it?
not. Yeah, to me. But I'm
That's
not riding
interesting.
down the street saying I had a dream. Oh shit, that car crashed. Oh shit, that's correlated to my dream. I particularly. We live in a world where things happen every second, every moment. Something is happening. How you interpret that is how you interpret it, and we all are different.
So let me ask you a question. How do you interpret 9/11 and the many people that didn't make it to work because of things that happened and the people that did?
timing. And some people just woke up every day. Somebody has decided, hey, I'm not going to work today.
No. They were on their way to work.
Every
Some people
single
were on
day.
their way to work and never made it.
And some people
Because
were
they
late.
Have
Some
you
people
talked
were
to
late.
any of them?
No,
Any
when
of those families?
No, not at all. I know people that were involved in it.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you look at
No,
the
the
families,
Taliban? Corey, no, the Taliban.
if you look at some of those families, the reason they didn't make it is because they were into a deeper state. There were dreams. There were dreams that was happening, and the reason he gets in touch with his lady is because if you're in a relationship and you're working through those relationships, I'm not going to call my buddy. I'm going to call my person and tell him, hey, this is what I saw, this is what I felt, this is what's going on. And
But see, that's
and looking at
dismissive
things,
to
right?
me, right?
Why?
Because then that lends to somebody is special versus somebody is not. And so that's very dismissive to me. That's how I take it.
But his relationship with his girl is different.
No.
than his
I'm talking about
relationship with
I'm talking about you tying it in and saying, hey, 9/11, some people that didn't make it.
Yeah.
I just think that's life. There's people that went that lost their lives, right?
But do you feel it was their soul's journey to be there versus the people who didn't make it?
No, and it goes back to what I said. I just think life happens. Life happens.
What
You
happens
can't
after life?
We don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know.
So then how can you argue anything else then?
I'm not arguing anything else. I'm saying
it's not dismissing what you're saying. What I'm saying is, if you look at trajectories in many, many situations that have occurred, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where somebody, there's even stories. Do you know who Matias de Stefano is?
no.
Okay. So Matias de Stefano is a young man who remembers and has shared his trajectory of all his lifetimes. All of them. Going back to Lemuria, going back to Atlantis, going back to Floridians, going back to everything that he remembers along his lifelines and has been able to put points where you can go back and meet those dates. Same thing like what Brian has done, right? Or what Leonard Orr has done with many of the people that they interview, because there are actual interviews of people, the young man who fell in the lake, and how he came back. There's just a lot. And what I'm inviting you to, right? Because obviously your life is wonderful and you're living your epic life. But what I'm inviting you to is there an opportunity to look at it that as a soul having this human experience, that there's a reason that each one of these people are in your life.
Corey got
we,
quiet.
We chose each other. Yeah.
Who?
We
Why?
chose each other.
How? Why?
Physically or spiritually?
What do you mean how? Why? Proximity, chance. We chose each other. I'm not. When we look at a lot of the things that go on in life,
Yeah.
right? We try to, somebody, and this is where I get back to imagination. Like, okay, you telling me about 50 past lives that you had. I think that you have an amazing imagination, right? Whoever wrote those books, there's no way to quantify any of it, right?
No, there is.
Well, there's not.
There is.
You can give me a point, but if you've read some stuff in the past,
No.
you can't
Wait.
Okay, tell me how you can quantify something.
Corey about to get red.
Because
I knew once you said move the little dolls back.
Because Corey, on these storylines, you're able to go back into the history, into that era, into that date, into that family line, into being able to go back and be able to look him up. Was he really my brother, my father, my husband, my sister? Who was he? And when they do the work, when you're able to go back and do past life regressions, you're able to go back into history. You're able to go back into the books and prove.
What books?
Well, everything, right? Is it? Were you? I asked you were born.
No books
where
on
you from?
Atlantis.
Can I give an,
Right.
can I
What
give an
books?
example?
Go
I will
ahead.
say this: there was a story about a young boy who about 3-4 years old, and he kept, when planes would go by, he would get very scared, and he would say to his mom, the plane, and like hide under things, right? And then eventually he got a little older, and he started drawing out 9/11, right? Then he started speaking to his mother more about, I was a lady before in a past life. And I was in these buildings, right? I'm probably messing the story up a little bit, but went through history. Then he started saying the first name of the lady that he was.
Yeah.
And they went and backtracked, and it was a 30-something-year-old black woman who passed in 9/11. Like, I just got
chills. I just got chills hearing that.
I don't think that's like.
Cold. It is cold in here. It's cold.
So I think that would be an example because they backtracked and they found it. I mean, he didn't say the last name, but he said that's who I was in my
Right.
past life. That's who I was, and I died in these two buildings. And it's a little child. He doesn't know about.
I do have a question about that. Right now, do you believe in a higher power?
Of course.
Okay, so when you were 23 and had that first experience of death, and you saw what you saw, and you said
My grandmother, very specifically.
okay, and you saw your mom beaten on the chest of the doctor. Why do you believe that was your decision to jump back in life, or a higher powers?
That's a great question because there's a variable for me on that, right? When the more I have evolved in my own spiritual seeking, I'm a seeker, I'm a student, right? I never feel like I have arrived anywhere because I am a seeker of truth. And so what that felt like is that I chose to listen to my grandmother and allow my soul to come back into my human physical body. Right? So when there is a higher power, if you put your hands like this, you're going to feel energy from one hand to the other, correct? Have you ever done that? Let's see. Just put your hands together.
No.
You don't feel anything. Well, that was pretty fast.
You don't believe?
It's just energy. Your energy.
He ain't even let it load, right?
I gotta squeeze it together.
Try to unplug it in, plug it back in.
Goju did it better than me.
Yeah, grab his it.
And just let me know.
But yes, I do
when you
believe
feel
that.
anything.
I believe that.
Yeah, I believe that, of course. But I believe in energy.
But that's not about believing. You are energy.
Absolutely. Everything is
Right?
energy.
Right.
So when you put your energy and you're able to grow your energy or expand your energy, that's what energy is. It's when you look at aura. So when I look at the conversation, is there a God, right? Is there a God? Is there a female, male God? Is there a Christ? There's so many things that happened before Christ, right? So where are we? Who are we? Where do we really source from?
Are we aliens?
Huh?
Are we aliens?
Are we?
See, I like where you're going with it.
You know?
I like where you're going, but that's a thought of some of the things that I laugh about. And what is like you said, you're a seeker. Mm-hmm. What are you seeking?
What I'm seeking is why I keep choosing to come back into this body. Why do I keep coming back here? Because after my brain injury, I even wrote a note for my children, thanking them to have chosen me to be their mom. I didn't want to be here anymore. I just didn't.
Well, what was your brain injury?
My brain injury was, I used to live in Jersey City in a community called Society Hill, right? And I forgot to grow up. I haven't grown up yet. I'm at my age. I choose to still experience life from a childlike. And I know it's due to, I had rheumatic fever and I was in a wheelchair for a year.
Okay.
And then I was treated for 18 years with not being able to do shit.
Okay.
And so I feel like I'm making up for that, right? So that being said, and being in a hospital for 6 months and going through all that stuff, I have a friend who tells me there's a dog that was lost, and anybody who knows me knows I love animals. And I said, of course, let me go check it out. My nomad daughter had just come back home, and I was supposed to take her out to eat with her friends. And I didn't even let her know. I went to the community to see the dog, and a little boy walks in, and he's like, oh, can I have the dog? I said, look, let's bathe him, make sure your parents are okay, and we'll wait to see if anybody claims the dog. I'm walking back. He's in his car with his kids and his wife. He has an SUV, and you know the rails on the SUV? I'm jumping off in that. I've done that many times. All of a sudden, I just see myself being carried into my place. Okay. And so I had cuts here. I had a cut here. You can touch right here where my skull got, I have a crack. And I knew, because it's my decision, that if I can't take care of myself, I don't want to be here.
Okay.
All right? And so I had a fireplace, which was red. And when I'm looking at the fireplace, all of a sudden, my daughter walks down, and I said to her, bring me some peroxide so that I can clean all the cuts, because I'm supposed to take it out, you know? And so I'm looking at the fireplace, and all of a sudden, I felt this thing go like, bzzz, and I said, oh, shit, something's wrong. Get me to a hospital. So they drove me to the hospital, and I had bleeding in the front of the brain and in the back of the brain, because I don't know what happened. I just don't know, right? So I turn around, and the doctors are like, well, we want to go into the skull to release it because of the, you're going to create clots or got some. And I go, no. I said to my daughter, just stay a couple of days. She was supposed to leave 3 days later to DR. She had gotten a contract there. She's a yogi and surfer, and which, it's stuff we love to do. And I said, no. I said to her, give me a couple of days. So they said, well, if you're not going to allow us to do anything, there's nothing we can do. And I go, okay, so I'm going to go home. And so I go home, and I must have fallen asleep flat. And I wake up, and I couldn't breathe. I was going, no, nothing is coming in. So I said to her,
again,
I go to her, Mama, call an ambulance. As calm as I'm telling you, I get dressed, she calls the ambulance. It was really funny for me, because the guys walk in, and they're like, my God, your place is so peaceful. And I go, you can hang out all you want, just give me some oxygen. And so they take me back into the hospitals, and the nurses are like, what do you mean you went home? And I go, yeah, I went home. So they run me into another CAT scan, and I have a spark in top of my head on the left side. And they're like, can we go in now? I go, absolutely not. Okay. Because I live here by myself, and I just chose to be okay if it was my time, right?
Okay.
So they send me back home. I start sleeping at an angle. My daughter works it out to have people there. And that was the next time I leave my body, right? All of a sudden, I'm alone. And I have a cousin of mine who is a doctor, and she leaves a hanging IV stand from my window in the living room, because it's where I used to sleep, because I had a 3-story townhome. But I couldn't walk straight. I can only walk sideways. And I had zero depth perception. And I can't smell and taste, and I can't close my hands. So I wake up, and I have an IV on my arm. And so all of a sudden, it's like I start seeing that I'm transitioning back and forth. I'm leaving my body. I'm seeing what's going on in the area. I go back, I come back. And it's like, this went on for almost 6 months, 4 months, to start being able to take care of myself, and then really And I got really upset at God. I said, if you are God and there is a God or there is a Christ or there's anything, why am I here? I don't want to be here. It's pain, it's lonely, put it at every angle you can look at, right? I've done human trafficking. I've worked with things
human trafficking?
Yeah, I used to work with an organization that would look for, there was buses picking up children, and there was an 800 number, we would get called 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Run to this place because it's going to pick up children. Yeah. So it's called the Winona House in Newark, New Jersey.
Winona House?
Yeah.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, so I was working, then Gloria Gaynor took it over. My friend Evelyn was running it, and it was I had to get out of it because spiritually, it's a lot, right? It's like you're exchanging so much, trying to run to a place, right? Because, I don't know, I'm an advocate for women, I'm an advocate for men, I'm an advocate for children who are sexually abused every day. I think these conversations are super real, need to be had, because we tend to keep putting shit underneath the carpet and not looking at the mess that we're fucking living in,
Can I just go back, because you said something,
Yep.
It seems like every time you speak on death, you equate it with light. Like it seems like the true light is the actual death
There you
part,
go.
right?
For me.
So, like in those moments of the passing, you said nine times. Why do you keep running away from the light? Like I know, like you said, the mom was the
other times I was in a relationship, and they knew about my spiritual work, and they I can't not do this without you. So they would pound on my chest to the point that I would have bruises to punch, bring you back in, right? I'm not going away from the light. I can show you a picture of an accident I had 5 months ago. It's on my phone, and I can show you guys that one as well. I can show you everything that I'm telling you guys about. Right now, I have 9 screws in metal in this hand. Because I was in DR with my daughter, finish a retreat. Young man comes towards me in a motorcycle without a helmet. My daughter is sleeping. I look, if I go down in Cabarete, if you know DR, if I go down, I'm going to die because the ocean is there, but now my daughter's with me. If I hit him, I'm going to kill him because he's without a helmet, coming straight at me, or I hit a pole. And I hit a pole.
I gotta say, Fran, you do a lot of reckless shit.
I was thinking the same shit.
Kind of clumsy.
I have to tell you, what the
Think about
fuck?
it.
Chill out.
Do you hit a kid in a motorcycle, or do you avoid it?
I don't know. Some people might.
I'm a mom.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a mom. It's not going to be a thought.
Yeah, but wait, because I want to go back to that I'm a mom shit. Slow
It's
down.
true.
Slow down.
Wait, hold on. Before
No,
can I just?
no. That's the way I thought about it.
I'm a dad.
Yeah. The kid is coming towards you on a motorcycle.
No,
Would you
I'm
hit him?
off of that one. I'm not on that
okay.
one. I'm on you being in the hospital with your head all bleeding,
Yeah.
slit open, and then you.
No, they didn't open it.
Oh, they didn't open
didn't
it.
allow it.
But
Bleed,
you say, all right, I want to go home. And your daughters fly with that.
Yeah. You have to respect my wishes.
You got no choice.
That's
No,
not
I don't.
true.
No, I don't.
Yes, it is.
No, I do not.
No. You're right.
Wait,
For
what does
me,
the child do at that point?
No. My wish is if I can't take care of myself, I'm not going to have her change her life to take care of me. Because I did that. I gave up my music to take care of my mom. My
mom
personal
couldn't check
choice.
out with me right there.
No. Okay.
That
by
couldn't
law,
happen.
there's nothing you can do.
No, you can't.
But let's not by law.
So I'm
yes.
just
But-
being.
okay.
That just seems like a negligent.
So let me ask you a question.
No.
If you are comfortable, if you have an understanding, I'm assuming your daughter does too. If you have an understanding that
This
your
how my
mother's
mom's
just
be
a
on
son-
it.
and listen, and y'all gonna re-meet again. It's like there's no life or death for them.
right.
It's just this. But we'll see each other again. Do you let your mother transition, knowing you'll see her again, or go ahead.
Go ahead, Carl.
Do they know that this is your thing? No disrespect, and
They let it rock.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
fine.
this how mom's on it.
Yeah, this is her thing.
You haven't lost a parent. I know you've
You
lost
know
a
me.
parent. You've lost a parent. I've lost a parent. Were you there when
I've lost both.
Were you there when both of them passed? Like actually physically there?
I found both of them.
No, did you actually see them?
I'm gonna explain exactly what happened. I found both of them, and the minute I saw them, I knew that they were about to pass. Like I
You know
smelt it, I sensed it. It was kind of like we getting.
Yeah, there's a thing.
There's the thing.
Were you? Because I know
It is
you
a
was.
thing. It's something you feel. I went through that with my
No,
mother,
I knew.
right?
I saw my mother before she passed, but I knew that I was never going to see it.
I remember when you
How did
called.
that make you feel?
You might as well go ahead and move them dolls up there. just keep trying to scoot the dolls back up.
I don't know. A deep sense of loss. Just knowing that this is probably the last time that I'm going to see her. Yeah, but she wasn't there in the capacity that I know her to be. So I came to terms with that. Like,
In the capacity of what you expected in a mother, or
just the capacity that I know her, right? So now that was her body, that was her shell, that was her body, but that wasn't her anymore. It was just a vessel, and she wasn't there anymore, right? Like she was
so then
she was
if
gone.
you knew that, would you believe then that her soul had already not been there, and then you have some sort of belief that you can experience somebody who's just a body and not a soul?
You can experience somebody who is just a body and not a soul.
Yeah, like you say, you recognize that your mother's no longer there. That's why I'm just trying to understand that.
Right, yeah. I recognize that she's not there anymore. She's already
So you do see her.
transitioned.
So you do feel that there was a soul inside that.
Oh,
you identified with
absolutely.
your mother.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So where does the soul go after death?
We don't know.
Where do you believe it goes? Because if you believe in the soul, it got to go somewhere. The soul can't.
I
just
don't know
die.
that it has to go anywhere.
It just
I
dies?
don't know that it has to go anywhere. I think
Well-
that's the issue that we always
well,
have.
So you call it an ending for everything.
for her body, and as I know her, right? Like that's an ending as I know
Corey's
her.
slowly starting to say he believes in something greater than himself, which is crazy because I remember when he
No,
called.
I believe in ancestors. I believe in my ancestors. I believe in that everything that is from the past has led all of us to here, and that's how
Beautiful.
this thing exists. I don't
Beautiful.
have to believe in God or religion or anything to believe that I come from something.
Okay, that's beautiful. So you believe that there is that interconnection of your ancestry that led you to where you are.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yes.
beautiful.
Do you believe that energy can't be destroyed, created, or destroyed?
Yes.
Do you believe that a soul has to be some level of energy?
Yes. Possibly.
So if it can't
Possibly.
be,
However-
so if it
however
can't
we-
be
'cause I
created or
don't-
destroyed, then that means it's continuous. So it has to go somewhere.
But
It has to
I
continue.
believe that everything has always existed. Like we had this conversation. I don't believe that there was a popping off point. I believe that everything has always existed.
So when you
And-
look at planet Earth, do you believe planet Earth to be one of the youngest planets, or you just feel that planet Earth is it?
No, I believe that all of these planets, like that, this is existence, right? Whatever we can see in this particular time, in this particular plane, is what we experience. When we look at these planets and it can't be no life here, it can't be no life there. We can only see in the time, and today is whatever time o'clock it is. That's how we exist, and we don't know in what other times and what other parallels anything else exists. Right? We just are looking
you
to
don't
say.
know, or you have not studied about it.
No, we don't know. I think that everybody that writes something that is referencing something is writing from their point of view.
But isn't everything your own point of view?
Exactly, and that's why I don't
I think
believe
some
that.
things-
I don't believe that there is
I think there's
a
some
total
things-
right and wrong for anything.
There's some
like when
things that are
somebody
great.
writes something, they're writing something from their experience.
There's great hypothesis on everything. Then there's also things that can be studied and proven. And then there's also just assumptions.
And
I
then
think
there's
we
shit that you
all
just live.
within
But
the
there's
three.
shit that you live and that you go through. I'm not telling you I had a dream that I believe was just a dream. I know you cannot change my perception of it. I felt what was going on.
Well, that-
I've had
well-
dreams where I just had a dream.
Well, that's why I want to
But
ask
none
her.
of that matters because you're not ready.
Well, and none of that matters.
That's why I want to. That's why I want to get to.
And none of that matters because that's his
and
point-
asking
that's
her
his
what I
point of view.
asked, and asking what I asked for a reason because she's just. We would quote unquote say she's more spiritually enlightened than most of the people probably in the room, right?
Yeah,
That
'cause I ain't died yet.
Right. So I was trying to figure out if maybe the reason why you're able to control coming back or choose to come back or maybe be able to see and feel the things that you feel is because you're just more spiritually enlightened, and maybe some of us lack some of that education or
I don't
ability?
think it's education. I think we're all here having the perfect journey of where you perfectly are right now. I choose to dive into it. I choose to be in the quest of what is the vortex, what is the quantum field, right? I don't know if you guys know Dr. Joe Dispenza. You know?
Yo, we don't know none of these things. Let me just clear that up for you.
None of them.
Okay, so Joe Dispenza did a movie called What the Bleep. Joe Dispenza was in The Secret. I don't know if you guys even know what The Secret is.
I know what The Secret
Based
is. I
off
know
the
what The
book.
Secret is. Yeah.
You know, so The Secret, where you have all these different people talking about the law of attraction, right? So what is the law of attraction? Why are we attracting? Why do I attract? And when you're saying that you live a very vicarious life, I do, and I want to continue that. I'm going to keep jumping off shit, and I'm going to keep doing stuff. And if something happens along the way, then it will. But I'm not going to sit here and at my age with my experience of life and go, oh, well, maybe if I try that and something happens, I don't want to do that.
Because you
No,
don't have a fear of death.
because it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's something that I'm supposed to experience, right?
And
So I'm not going to
there's a
put myself,
conundrum there with her.
you
Why?
know, I'm not going to stand in front of a train, a moving train. I'm not going to, there's certain things that I'm not going to do, but there's certain things that I am going to do because the experience is more important than the regret.
You're not looking to cause death, but you're willing to embrace it at that moment that it happens.
Listen, I was 5 minutes away from my daughter's house when we had that car accident. I saw things just flash before me when I see this kid coming towards me. We were 5 minutes, I had a meeting to go to. I did not plan that. I wasn't driving, crazy. I was going speed limit. I'm right in front of a police station. How bad can it be? Right? And then this happened, and I understood because I became totally numb after that one. And, my daughter pulled me out of the car. The reason it got fractured because I held her. She got stitches. And when I come back, I see her bleeding from her forehead. And all I keep saying is, take care of her. Take care of her. I was not being crazy. I have a kid coming
Were you
towards
just knocked
me.
out?
Excuse me?
Were you just knocked out?
I saw myself. They put me into the ambulance. They bring me back in, and I'm seeing my daughter bleeding.
Have you ever been knocked out?
Like
She's too 1 foot
physically
in,
knocked
1 foot out for me. That's my thing with Fran.
Why?
She's too 1 foot on first base, trying to steal second base. Follow me here.
Yeah.
People that self-transition, right, with children, they be ready to go. I'm done. I'm clocking out. Everybody here is like, oh my God, you're so selfish. What about the kids? But you ready to go. You ready to go. I'm out of here. I have no fear of death, afterlife, whatever the next phase is. I'm out of here. And I get that in you when you speak about death. But every time you've died, which would be the glory land, you jump back in. Not for you. Right. It's never been for you yet.
She's never said it's for her.
It's never been for you. And that's where I'm like, there's something here.
It's never been for me because I see me as just a vehicle. And this is the message, right? The message that I got always, or that I always keep receiving, is there's more for you to do. When I came back this last time, my daughter took care of everything. I felt totally numb.
So with these experiences, I guess that's the question I lead to. What do you feel there is for you to do?
I feel for me, what there is for me still to do here is to being able to keep diving into the conversation, leading others to look into themselves, right? Because it's what I really put out, when we were talking about everybody has a gift. And being able to open that up to say, okay, what does that look like? Because this journey, it's going to be 5 months now, it really was like I knew I was looking forward to being able to do more retreats with my daughter, teaching breath work, doing yoga, being able to walk people through mushrooms.
Wait, you died 5 months ago?
The last time that my breath left was 5 months ago.
Wait, I want to jump back because I don't want to lose this. if I'm of some of the beliefs that you are, which is we just here, this is just a quick
Yep.
phase, and
It's very fast.
then why does any of the true work that you believe needs to be done, why does that happen here?
And by you.
Because there's
Why does it happen?
Because if I don't have you to do the show, who would do the show? Somebody else.
then there
right?
is no show.
Or there is no show.
Then
right.
there is no show.
Right.
Right.
Which to me sounds like it would be fine, because whatever my greater purpose is, maybe for when we leave here. Fuck this show.
No.
Fuck the show.
But you're bringing information to be able to have a show that makes sense for others. to have an audience.
So it's interesting because I went down this rabbit hole of trying to figure. Because I'm trust me, I've been on this shit. I did not believe in this shit. But
I do, but
right.
that's where I'm, because it sounds like everything here.
So let
it
me
sounds like nothing here should matter.
No. The idea is this: if your soul, which is forever, many lifetimes, right? You could have been here 100 times. Your soul is here to learn a lesson. Until it learns it, it will
Says
continue
who?
to
Says
come
who?
back. I'm
Says
just saying,
who?
says the teachings of that. You could believe it or you not. You don't
okay.
have to.
Okay.
So the idea is you're here for a reason. This purpose was already
It's already been given.
It's already been given. So until you learn it, his might be to be a believer of what this is. We don't know. He may not leave this life as a believer. Then his soul is going to come back. You're going to keep having experiences with the same
100%.
souls. They call it a soul contract. We've made a contract to say, okay, these are things that we're going to do in this lifetime. And until it's completed, you're going to continue to go through
And Joe,
it.
that's my quest. Why does my soul keep coming back to have experiences, right? I'm being very transparent here. I hope you understand that.
I
right?
do.
I keep coming back here, and I keep coming back to this journey called my human experience, because I still feel nothing is, I can leave tomorrow, somebody might cry for a day or not. It's irrelevant. For some sort of reason. And that's my quest. It is a quest.
And she may not find out in this lifetime,
Right.
which means
See,
she's going to
I
come back
disagree
as a
with
little
all
boy.
of that.
Right? It's like-
you never left.
You know, it's
You
like
never left here.
what makes me take that breath and come into my body? What makes me, after my experiences, to keep coming here? Because I meet people then, and I talk to people who have been through the same journey, who are still burning their karma, if you believe in karma, right? Who are still having karmic expressions or going through things in their lives, and being able to hold that space, being able to live from understanding somebody and what they've been through, holding zero judgment but complete support, that might be the difference, might be the reason
So if you
that I'm
would
still
have,
here.
so if you would have chosen in any one of these deaths to proceed with the death,
She wouldn't have had the ability to.
She didn't have to control the.
You don't
to decide
control that.
She
You
didn't
don't
have to
control
control
that.
the. She didn't have to control the.
You
decide
can
that.
want to. You
And
can want to be
I-
like, oh shit, I'm ready to go.
And truth be told, I don't think she ever died.
In
If
the-
I'm just
I
keeping
wanna-
it
I get
100,
that. Can I
I don't think
you
she
know
ever
what
died.
it is that you leave, you're marked that you're no longer here, but like many people,
But you came back.
even with Sean, you come back into the body.
Like a friend of mine died in the ocean, not in a lake. He was doing a triathlon. Yeah, they had to bring him back. Right? They hit his body 8 times with paddles. You know, you've experienced 8 times is a lot. He was gone. They said his heart had stopped beating. He came back. They hooked him up. He came back. His experience is his experience, right?
Correct.
Whether he came back for a reason, listen, nobody wanted him to go. I don't think anybody wants to see a loved one go. There's always a reason that you want your loved one to stay, if not for anything else, for selfish reasons, because you love the person, right? But he died, but he didn't die, because while his heart stopped beating and, you know, he didn't have any blood pumping through his body for however many minutes, he came back, or he never died, right? It's just how, it's just the words that people, it's just the words that people
so die
use.
there becomes a word,
Right.
that when you are dead and you now leave your body, whether you're cremated or buried or whatever that
Exactly.
looks like, right? That's a choice, and however that choice happens.
Right.
Versus that experience.
The experience.
Right? And the experience of saying, how does that change you then what does that look like for you, and how your life then transitions from that, right? What do you take serious? What don't you anymore? What matters? What doesn't matter anymore, right? Who are you still holding on to things that you're looking around all of a sudden and go, beautiful example of him being able to say, it doesn't matter, man.
Life is short.
Yeah, life is so freaking short. Let's just work through this journey. Let's work through whatever the conversation is and build from there, versus being so right about being right that even when you know you're wrong, you still want to be right.
You don't equate these deaths and out of body experiences. Out of body experiences can be something totally different while still not equating to a death. Are you saying that? Or because I'm trying to figure out, because some of what Corey's saying, I kind of feel might be, you might have physically went through some things that might have flatlined you that technically were
Correct.
on paper deaths.
Correct.
But is there such thing where maybe it possibly was just out of body experiences and not the full process of death where you're seeing the light and?
Well, no, I saw the light, and I don't have to prove it to anybody.
Yeah, no.
I just know my experience.
Well, no, I'm
right?
just saying for others. Like,
so it's just a matter how you quantify, right? Because you can call it a transition. For me, is also when you do leave your body, right? So that's when, like his mother, he realized that his mother was no longer there. He realized, you know what, this is going to be the last time I'm going to see you. Same thing with you, right? You saw your mom, you saw your dad, you saw that, this experience, like, okay, they are ready to leave, right? That for me is transitioning right out of your body, and your soul is going to go into your next journey.
Have y'all ever seen somebody
Right.
transition? Like
both.
Like you were there as it's a different experience.
Yeah.
It's a different experience.
It was different for both.
But I'm just saying, it's unless you've watched somebody. I watched my father transition. He couldn't speak about it. He couldn't speak at all. He had cancer. He couldn't speak. And I remember looking at him, and I've told this story even well before even any of this. I remember looking at him in the hospice on the final day. Backtrack. He was supposed to come and join us for Christmas, right? And actually, my nephew Rob found him. He found him in the garage. He was in Atlanta at the time. He found him in the garage, and he was like, he could probably tell the story better than me because I wasn't there. But I remember getting the call, like, Rob found Grandpa and he was with my sister, Dad in the garage. He was totally unaware of where he was. He had shitted on himself. Did you tell me he shitted on himself? He shitted on himself. He was gone. Now, he was okay up to that point. He was actually coming to visit on Christmas. We knew he would pass in the next year. We knew the cancer had kind of, but he was still mobile. I got that call, let's say around the 15th of December, 16th, 17th of December. And I remember when I got the call, I called Royce and I called my brother Will, and I said, Rob just found my father in the garage. They sent him to the hospice. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but he's gonna die. I hadn't seen him. I hadn't talked to him. Nothing. I said, I'm telling y'all now, he's not leaving the hospice. And they was like, why would you say that? And I was like, I'm just telling you, I feel it. We all hop. We all fly down there. I think I drive down there because I got the kids with me and Kim is with me. We drive down there, and when we get to the hospice, he didn't recognize any of us. Like he couldn't even, and we were fucked up over it. We spent some time with him. It was what it was. We come back the next day, and the lady says, Mr. Children, your father's up. He just wants to get up and ready because he's excited to see you. And we're all looking at each other like, how is he don't even know who we are. We get to him the second day, and it was almost like you could tell whatever happened between that first day and the second day, I feel as if he knew we were there and he was going to hold on that one more day. I told everybody, I said, listen, he was going to spend Christmas with us. He'll tell you this. Kim, my ex, will tell you this because this was one of the big reasons for me of the divorce that led to one of my emotions in the divorce, at least. And so I told everybody he's gonna let go on Christmas, and they was like, "Yo, quit saying that." I'm telling you, I was so close to my father spiritually that I knew he was going to hold on. Christmas Eve comes, me and Kim go to the hospital at 11 o'clock. Midnight comes because he was barely breathing, he was barely alive. Midnight comes. And I remember watching him breathe, and you could almost tell, I felt as if he could see what was going on. Well, whatever he saw, he looked terrified, but he couldn't talk. He could barely move. And I said, "Are you in pain?" And he just shook his head. I said, "Are you afraid?" and he did this. And I said, can you see it? And he did this. Kim will tell you this. It fucked me up. Midnight comes, Christmas Day. I kiss him on the cheek. I tell him how all the kids are doing. Come back Christmas Day, he passes. I saw the whole process. Is it coincidence? It could be. I don't know. But certain things in life that we see, I believe that you got to start to realize it got to be something bigger than what we know. We only know so much.
Oh, yeah.
You got to start to experience shit that changes your idea of spirituality, who we are, why we're here. And then you go down these wormholes and you start finding out that you ain't really the only person who've had this experience. And I think that's the most interesting thing when you have these experiences in life, whether it's talking about death or past life regression or fucking food or whatever the fuck we do in life. We find something and then we find out, wow, there's a whole world that's around this subject or around this thing that we've never experienced. That's the beauty of life, is being able to experience shit that you never really thought you would have the opportunity to. It's like going fishing and then finding out, oh shit, it's more than just this type of fish in the ocean. And you go down this rabbit hole, and that experience it completely changes your life.
It gives you purpose. For me, it gives me purpose. It's like, what's the purpose is for me is to, and I came out of religion, just so that for you to know that, and my religion is love. For me, is to be able to love, to be able to embrace humanity as my brothers and sisters. I don't care what your faith is. He told me that you didn't believe in anything, and I go to him, that's so beautiful. Didn't I say that? I said to him, that's great. I invite that because I'm not saying I'm right. And I'm not saying this is the only path. And I'm not saying that what I believe in or don't believe in is the only path. I'm not.
We just all have different paths.
I just know that everybody's here
for a reason.
For a reason. And I might know you for a second. I might know you for a minute. I might know you for an hour. I might know you for a year. I might know you for a lifetime. But whatever that is, there's things for me karmically that we didn't complete before, is my thought around it, and that I'm here to witness with you. Whether it's to celebrate you, whether it's to cry with you, whether it's to be there for you, no matter what you're going through, because it takes away from who you are or what you are, but that you are. You.
So I got a question. So when you walked in today, you greeted everybody. You hugged Ian, and you said, "Oh my God, he's such a beautiful soul." You gave him a great big hug, and then you looked at Joe kind of weird. Is it because he has an ugly soul? Does Joe have an ugly soul? We all want to know this. Tell us what you see.
Well, they
when you
already
look
think
at his
yes
soul.
out there. So I mean, no shocker to them.
When you see Joe Budden, what do you see?
When I see Joe, I look at a man that has gone through a lot in his life.
That's those lines in his forehead.
That's the grace.
I mean, and I didn't know you or looked you up because I choose not to do that.
But Sam did. What's my man name?
No, Sean.
Sean
Sean knew all about you. I told him that because he wanted to tell me his story. He was like, "My friend, I want to." I go, no, I don't want to hear about it. No, I like to be present to the essence of when I'm receiving information with you, which is back to why for me it's about being in the presence and looking at somebody's eyes, right? Because I want to see your soul. I want to see who you are. So for me, you're a man that's been through a lot, but I find sadness in your eyes. Like there's something inside of you for me. And it's not, and it could be just something that you're going to be witnessing or experiencing because you try to do more and you're very strong in your opinion, right? But there's something more you're going to be doing that has nothing to do with what you're doing right now.
Oh, I believe that.
It's porn.
That's a fact.
Whatever it is.
I say that all the time.
You know, whatever it is, there's a change. So there's always a mourning before the glory, right? Because you're letting go of what was really comfortable, what you really know. Like when I went through my accident, I had investments in California. I lost everything. So not only can I not walk, I lose everything. He knows that very well. I lost my money because I had the SEC shut down an investment platform I was in. So God really, let's call it God, took everything away, stripped me from everything. And something I have not said publicly, but I said to him, I literally, when I was able to walk, I went by the river in Society Hill in Jersey City. There's rocks. I sat there. It was raining after I wrote that note to my kids. And imagine being finally able to walk out of your place. Excuse me. Get to the river. Sat there, and I said, I'm done. I can't keep going through this. I don't want to be alone anymore. So I felt alone. I had lost everything financially. I'm not going to depend on my kids because that's not the mother that I am. My parents left Cuba with nothing. They came with nothing, and they were so proud that they never asked for anything. So I came from that mentality. And I sat there, and I said, okay, I'm done. And as I'm standing there, believe it or not, a ray of sun just hits me. And I felt, call it Christ, call it the energy, call it Holy Spirit, call it whatever you call it. Whatever you want to call it. And if you don't want to call it anything, that's okay also. For me, it was the energy. What I felt was Christ saying, hold my hand and walk with me. And I started walking.
I'm feeling some sadness in you.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
She died 9 times.
Do you
12
understand what it felt to lose everything and come from nothing and have nobody you can go to? Because I had left my children's father with everything to save my children. So I understood what that felt like, right? And that's not a joke for me. The sadness came from realizing that no matter what I get put through, which is why I feel my mess is my message, no matter what I've been through, I still get up on my own 2 feet. I've never asked. I've always created. And I know that I'm here because no matter how many women go through whatever they're going through, and no matter what man goes through whatever he's going through, no matter what our children go through, there's a call called the Sophia Coates, which is a girl that she was trafficked since she was a baby. And at 18, she finally escaped. And I had the blessing to be able to have this conversation so that no matter whatever happens, you can resort to your inner self, get the strength and the willpower to go out there and do something again with life, you know? And right now I'm in a company called Lifestyle that gave me the opportunity to do commercial real estate because for a year I had that plain terrier from the time of my injury to being able to find the strength to get out there. And it seems like, oh, it's stupid. It's only 3 areas of your brain. It takes a lot to be able to get out there again and feel strong enough to do anything again. So the sadness that I feel in you, it's not a sadness of, there's things in your life that you're walking through is what I'm feeling, but there's changes that you're going to create and something that's going to be opening up for you in 2024 into 2026, like at that 2-year period.
I agree.
You know? That I think,
would agree with that.
You know, I think it's going to be really phenomenal. And it's going to be a real blessing. You know,
Might
it's going
not
to
be
be a real
work-related.
blessing. Huh?
Might not be work related.
It's not. It's just something that his life is going to go through, this beautiful experience. And so what I see in you is a man that some other people might not understand, but you have a beautiful heart.
See.
Joe actually got nicer when he got richer.
I'm serious.
Because he was a dick poor. He was a piece of shit poor.
And it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
It's usually the other way around, right?
It's usually the other way around. He pays for shit now. He takes his friends out to You're a nice guy, rich.
Thanks, kid.
Yeah, and it really, you know, rich is very relevant, very relevant, right? You could be rich today and poor tomorrow. I mean, being in commercial real estate, I've had people, you know, with extreme wealth lose everything, right, from a bad decision. But you're going to make one of the best decisions that you're going to make coming up. And you're going to know about it. You're going to feel it in your heart. And you're going to go, I don't give a F what anybody has to say about this.
Of course.
This is the path I'm going to take.
The things we uncover.
Sounds about right.
See?
I mean, I don't know.
course.
I don't know if that resonates for you
It does.
at all.
You know
Of
why?
course, there's
But-
I don't give a fuck what anybody says in my future. Yeah.
No, because people are going to
Probably
try
a
and
couple
say to you, Joe, well, you know what it is, Joe? People are going to say, Joe, but that's not, I mean, you shouldn't go down that path. I mean, look at your life. Look at the quality of your life. Like, what are you, crazy? But the craziness in you is what makes you who you are.
I know.
You know the things we uncover on the Keno show. Monty, can I get my Keno show music again?
Oh.
No.
Keno show.
Everybody's watching the Keno show. So one of the things I did want to talk about, and I don't know how much more time we have. I want to talk about, because it's really been on my mind, what you saw the day we met. Mm-hmm. And then I asked you before the other day via text, if we knew each other in past lives.
Mm-hmm. So I will answer that. Yes, we know each other. What I have felt when I met you was like you were a long lost relative of mine. Like if you were my brother, like I feel like I know you. Like I didn't just meet you.
Interesting.
Right? Like in my heart, even when you have called me and you had the kids in the car and everything, and we had this conversation with E, right, where whether to do the audio or not, right? Mm-hmm. And I felt like you were in a place of an evolution that are recognition, and I've told you, I feel like there's things we're going to do, and it has nothing to do with anything except much deeper conversation as to how you're evolving in your own self as the father and the guidance that you are providing, and the man that's going to be able to look at himself and know, this is why I have chosen and taken the path that it has nothing to do with her, right? Because for me, I keep everything very individualized, right? And what I saw in you is that you're going to be impacting more children than you know. Your path is going to lead where you're going to help other children or create platforms where these children that had lost hope are going to now have hope. Because things have been pulled from you, and now here you are being able to say, look, this is the way to run the race, right? Everybody has a coach. Every coach has a coach.
So Joe has an amazing 2020, and I got more kids.
Well, it's not about you having kids. It's about you mentoring kids.
I'm going to impact more kids.
Impacting kids.
Mentoring, because you got to understand, for me, in your culture, or the culture of the, let's call it really, the black man, right? These children need a leader. These children need somebody who's going to hold the space for them to show them how they can succeed, how they can move ahead in life. And it's very important to have strong men turning around and making that platform available, because otherwise your life is what? So you have money, so you have real estate, so you have cars, so you have women, so you have jewelry. And what are you living? What is your legacy? Who are you leaving behind, knowing that it is possible no matter where you came from? Like, I came from nothing. My parents had nothing. Things got removed, but guess what? I'm going to build it again. I've done it before. I can do it again because I trust that there's a divine intervention. There's a divine plan. There's imagination, right? Disney had it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have Disney, right? Mm-hmm. There's an imagination that procures this essence in us to know that we're here to do more than outside of ourselves. Because I don't feel that living for me or for whatever I need. No, it's who I am, or what can I change, or who can I meet, or who can I connect with, that I can say, hey, clean up, man, it's okay. So the inner child is looking for that relationship that was going to put that hand and raise them out of that conversation of, no, you can't, and you're effed up, and your mother's a druggie, your father's a druggie, you were not loved. Every child deserves an opportunity.
This is what I find very interesting about what you just said. And I really want to know what you say and what you say, but a few people in this room know you use two words: platform and help. It's been a word we've been throwing around for a few days, for a few weeks now, right? Do you think that is a coincidence that those words have been used when very few people know about what we've been talking about? Do you find that to be a coincidence, or do you think that, wow, maybe it could be something?
I think people, when you're in certain environments and you're able to look around, I think some people have vision. They're able to see things. I don't look at that as coincidence. I think that if you can see what's going on, your imagination can conjure up, or like we can think the same things, right? Like people can be like-minded.
Okay. So there's a psychic element to your life as well.
Correct.
And we didn't really talk on that. We did talk about death. Amani, I said I asked you off camera if you were comfortable talking about this, but obviously he just lost his mother recently.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you see when you look at him, a connection, an image, something that his mother may or may not share or may share in this moment?
Are you a medium as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I just took me a long time to be able to manage that.
Got it.
Yeah, because it took a period of learning of what it was. Otherwise, they really can take over your life, and you have no life.
Got it.
You know. So I actually was talking to him because his mom crossed over recently.
Mm-hmm.
So I was more interested in how his siblings were doing because that's really her concern. All I heard from her is being able to know that
You have siblings, right?
Mm-hmm.
there's you said you did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I see 3. There's a guy named James Van Praag.
Wait. Did y'all speak about 3? So she just said I see 3, and she.
Well, yeah, I have three living siblings right now. Yeah.
And you never asked that. Well,
No, we didn't. No. So James Van Praag, if you guys never heard the name either,
I'm about to move.
you know.
I'm sorry.
No, Joe, it's all good. I'm not going to go into that space today in this conversation. We can do that another time. But what his mom was really more concerned is I feel you have a sister who's really struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And she's struggling because she feels that she could have done more.
Mm-hmm.
And she's feeling like, you know, she's not letting her rest. You know, it's like, why? And there's a conversation that she's saying about medical error, where the treatments could have been different.
Mm-hmm.
How she got treated could have been different, right?
Is any of this true?
Somewhat,
Why don't
yeah.
you get out of the business? Get out of here.
And
They have
so
the moment.
what happens is that when they transition, she was in pain, right? So she really wants to have you guys understand that she needs this time to transition herself, to be able to continue into finding her own healing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't talked about it, but when you do ayo, when you do this kind of work, or you do mushrooms or whatever, you're really going to go into seeing a lot of these things and what she's requesting. And if your sister's okay with that, right? Because it's a request, is to be able to trust that because of it, they're always going to be there with you.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like her chest was very tight. You know, when I feel it, when I see her, it's like her chest was very tight, like her heart was really like, you know, it's like even hard. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So she's just requesting to be able to allow your sister to cry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she needs to be able to be angry and go through the emotions of this, and that she holds herself sometimes back, and that it's not good for her, and it's going to get easier, but it's like she needs to be able to know, you know, and do not celebrate the holidays. Make it important to celebrate each other and celebrate her life. Don't celebrate her death.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrate her life. You know? And your sister then, she needs a good hug. She needs somebody who's going to, you know, that thing of being able to take that breath.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to know that you guys got her. You know? And that this period, as difficult that it seemed, there's nothing more that you guys could have done. And thank you.
Thank you. I'm good.
Hey, oh, give it to me.
Wow.
Can I actually?
Oh my God! I love you, man.
Can I ask? Just personally for me, because everything you're saying is kind of nail on. And then I'm not sure which sister you're speaking of, but I kind of maybe have an idea. But what is this feeling of not like it's? I've heard people say before, like not really connecting with the reality of someone being passed. Like when my father passed, like I felt it. Like I knew it. I went through the mourning. This time I'm not really.
What was pending for you?
Excuse me, Sarah?
What was pending? What was pending?
Pending?
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything pending.
What, this time?
With his mom. What do you think might be something not unsaid or something not shared or something that you
Could it be a
feel you
relationship?
could maybe wanted to do something about or something? There's the disconnect is because there's a pending matter, right? So, and I mean, listen, she was a very strong character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she had a heart, man. You know, it's like, and it's the person that brings it into the world, right?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think my connection with love with people was taught from her.
From her. She was all heart.
So, and it's why I probably have some of the greatest relationships I have, but a lot of my bad relationships or why I maintained them is because of the love that she taught me. Like that unconditional, very forgiving type of love that I want to overcome. Because I want to love people, but I want to love them in a healthier way. And I think...
Set healthier boundaries. Right? If you set healthier boundaries, then it'll be a different... There's a very fine line between loving unconditionally and healthy boundaries, right? Because you could want to love unconditionally, but if somebody keeps doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, then that's not a healthy boundary, right? You could be in a relationship and somebody cheats and cheats and cheats and cheats, and you forgive, until you say, wait a minute, you know, what is this really looking like? How's this healthy for me? Because I'm supposed to love you unconditionally, right? So it's a way how you interpret that, right? It's like very interesting how you can interpret anything, right? But it's being able to have those clear boundaries, you know, and knowing that love begins with self. Because, I mean, she was just love, right? So self-love becomes an experience of loving the inner child, allowing that inner child to heal from its wounds, heal from whatever you went through in childhood, and realizing that it's either going to catapult you to be who you become or it's going to destroy whoever you are, because it could go either way. So then you can set those healthy boundaries, right, so that you can love, but you don't have to be disrespected.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I seen that little eye twitching on the side.
How does that feel here? Like, how does that, like, when you, how do you feel, or how does it feel?
I'm to be very honest, I'm still trying to figure out how to process all of it. Like she 100% the most important person on this earth for me. Even in the moments where like I was annoyed and pissed and couldn't stand, still number one. So I'm still trying to process
What
that
are you looking
loss.
to process?
That she's not here no more.
Is she not here anymore?
That's the thing, because I feel like she's still here. That's the funny part.
There you go.
I feel like that's the first time in my life where I've lost the physical. Like when I lost my dad, I knew he wasn't here. Like it felt like he was gone. Like the spirit, the everything felt like he was gone.
Transitioned.
Yeah, her is like probably why I haven't really mourned.
Yeah, you feel her, you sense her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's very connected still, but it's because of what's happening in the family unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it takes that time for the soul. And when you read, if you read, well, you guys are going to make fun of me again because you're not going to know anything. But, you know, if you read Conversations with God, if you read The Placebo, you know, that Joe Dispenza put out, and what happens to your brain, what happens to the different synapses of the brain, what happens to the person as they're crossing over, what that looks like, the time that it does take for all of that, depending on the relationships, right? Always remember the mothers where you came from. Right? So it's that connection. Some people can't wait to get rid of their mothers. Some people can't live without their mothers. And some people are grateful that they were able to experience their mothers, right? Because it's different relationships. And being a mother is not just somebody who brings you into the world, but somebody who shows you, who guides you, who loves you, you know, who fixes your boo-boo, you know, who's there when you're going through shit, who lifts you when you're down, right? Or who celebrates you, right? So if you look at it and you see this experience, is because she is still very much with you. You know, I mean, as when we started talking about it, my chest felt very tight. So back to being a medium, you know, my connection is I feel, right? I feel it, I sense it, versus some people who hear, or some people who see, or somebody who feels, right? Sure. It all depends on how you want to interpret that.
So do you feel like you're an empath?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And it becomes really a place that I've learned throughout the years how to stay disconnected and not wanting to hear or receive or see or feel unless I choose to. Because I had a period when it started that I would lose who I was. I literally would be driving, not know my name. All I knew was to get home. I was in Maui in Hawaii with my children's father, and I said, get me back to New York because I'm not here. So I know what it felt like, and I didn't want to do. I got scared. I didn't want to be like that, disconnect myself like that. So it took being able to have great guidance from people who are also in the space and say, well, this is how to choose this. This is how to disconnect from this. This is how to feel or not. You know, because if you go into a room, and it happened to me when I travel. I can go to a hotel. I was in Milan, rented a beautiful hotel. I walked in, and I'm like, I couldn't sleep here. The energy's too thick. I have to go to the next place. I couldn't stay there. You know? And there's people that you meet that I don't want them touching me. I won't even give you a hug. You know, because your energy is so messed up, right?
She didn't hug you, Joe.
You know?
Your
No, I
energy.
did. No, you know, it's so it's a real thing. You know, whether you acknowledge it or not, whether you're in tune with it or not, it just becomes irrelevant, right? There's people that you meet, you're like, damn, I want to go dancing with that person. You know, I'm a musician at the end of the day, so it's like, who do I want to be around to listen to music or have that glass of wine or do some mushrooms with or whatever that looks like, right? Like, who would I really?
By the way,
Yeah, you know, it's like, who do you want to do these things with that I can trust, that I want to experience and do things with, or who's like, damn, I can't wait until they leave my house, right? Or I wouldn't even invite you into my house. You know, my house is my temple. So the first thing, one of the things I said to Joe before we got started is thank you for putting this together, and thank you for inviting me to your house, because wherever I am, I'm in my house. This is my house. So I'm taking me, no matter where I am, there's no separation, right? So my house, is who I am, is what I am. I'm not one person here and another person when I'm doing real estate and another person when I'm doing retreats. I am fully me. Like it, don't like it, doesn't matter to me because I live with me. And I embrace the people that I'm bringing to my life, and I embrace the people I exchange energy in life. And I'm just going to love you unconditionally because I want to respect that.
Sorry to cut you. How do you
No, it's
deal
okay.
with being a business professional, like, and sensing energies like that? Like, I have to imagine that you run into people that you're trying to sell real estate space to that give you the heebie-jeebies, and you got to still be professional and
which is why I never talk about spirituality, and I had to learn how to block it. Imagine I deal in construction. I deal in help. I'm a commercial investment broker. So I have to identify properties, and I do what's called owner's rep. So finding properties, getting a builder, getting it, architect, getting funding. I do all of that,
So you have
right?
to block all that shit out, basically. You have to block out the whole other
You have, for me, I had to learn on how to look at it and separate who you are as a person versus how I'm going to help you achieve your goals, right? Because for me in real estate, it's not about the commission. I never done this for a commission. You bring me something and I think I can't do it, I'm going to tell you, good luck, go to somebody else. Because I'm not your person, right? Because if I can't, I knew the water before the water was built out.
Right.
I've been here since 1967, right? So for me, it's about the relationships that can trust me and I can trust you. I have people in Israel that all they do is pick up a phone and say, hey, go see this or that. They don't even come here. They're in Israel. Because they know that I'm going to have their best interest at heart.
Sure.
Right? So to separate it, and I also choose at times if the person is very toxic, when we're talking about boundaries, if that person is very toxic, I will choose that. I don't care if I will become a millionaire with you. You know, it's irrelevant. I don't like you.
Sure.
And I choose not to do, I choose I'm in a place in my life that it's not about what I have, but who I am. Right? Because then I'm not going to take shit with me.
Right.
Right? So it's about who I am and who I'm going to exchange that energy with and what communities I'm going to build that are going to make a difference and impact other people's life.
Okay.
Right? So I choose. And it's, you know, that's how I prefer to handle, you know, my real estate commercial company. We're you know, I mean, I just choose not to do that.
Okay. Interesting. So you can turn it on and off.
Yes, I don't want to dance with somebody who's going to step on my feet, or I'm going to have to step on their feet, and it's going to have to be trying. It's sort of like what you talked about fishing, right? I love fishing. I love the ocean. I love all of that, right? If you go to Bimini in January, it's marlin season. You know, I can't go fishing for a marlin with a bait, you know, for swordfish or whatever. You have to choose your
With
bait.
your history, I don't recommend the fishing for
I
that.
do. I will. No. I'm gonna
Stay
keep
away
fishing.
from that.
I'm gonna keep doing all
Bro,
of that,
she
guys.
keep coming back. She's good. What are y'all talking about?
Thank you.
She's coming back.
If somebody was listening or watching this podcast,
Yeah, but that could be received as going backward, which is why she's confusing to me.
It's not backwards.
It's
Why is
backward
it backwards?
to you.
Wait, Joe. Why do you feel it's backwards?
It's not backwards.
I'm not sure that I feel it's going backwards.
You said backwards.
I said it could be received that way.
Why?
I don't know if I land there. Because I'm with you just on a lot of the beliefs you say, but I'm not.
Because she's speaking so much glory into the light, but then choosing to come back.
I had some of these conversations with Neil deGrasse Tyson because I do believe in the afterlife. I do believe in our souls, our bodies being a conduit for our souls to go to the next plane and do whatever that is. And he's Mr. Science, and he doesn't believe in that. He says there's nothing to support that. And he says that if what I was saying was true, what makes me believe that I would remember any of my time here when that were to happen? He said, if what you're saying is true, then it would be similar to before birth when you were here and you don't remember any of that.
Yep.
So I guess my confusion comes in all of this is really nothing. This. It's just
Atoms. It's just atoms.
high molecules doing some shit. So, and I'm really of that belief.
You think the real mission is after?
This is nothing.
Okay.
This is absolute.
Is there a real mission after,
But-
or are you coming back to experience something that
In
you
a
didn't
different,
experience?
human experience, in a different human
Yeah.
body.
See, that sounds narrow-minded to me.
Because
But
Why would it always be a human that you come back to as a
and
soul?
why would it always be here?
Right.
is it here being in
Earth.
in Earth or another planet? Like
When
I'm
you
asking-
said here, I thought Earth.
no.
I'm of the belief that when this is done here, we can't go to where we're supposed to go and do what we're supposed to do like this. So we're leaving and we out of here, and our time here is done. This is all like an anthill. This is a bunch of a crock of shit. So why would I believe that there's something here that has to happen first for me to get where I'm going? And why would I think that I would remember that?
You can choose to or not. That's a choice. You're perfectly fine feeling the way you're feeling, Joe.
No, see, you saying it's a choice. You saying it's a choice.
Yeah.
Belief is a choice.
Correct.
I would choose. Yeah, but now we just talking about retaining memory.
Right.
Yeah, but
I
this
would, I
memory.
would choose,
choose what?
I would choose to believe this.
So then-
if it's my choice, I'm always going with believing.
So let me ask you a question.
But I feel
If
like
you
that's
choose to
human.
believe this.
That's almost like human negligence to believe or to think
And
that
self-absorption.
But we
Yeah.
won't,
Self-absorption almost.
but we won't know until you won't know until you go through it.
But see, my thing
and
is,
have the experience.
My thing
so
is,
Let's just say you won't
for
remember
example, if you look
don't
at Matias De Stefano, or you look at a lot of these people that I'm sharing information
Thank
around
you.
for you guys, right, to look into, right, because this is just a forum, right? This is just a conversation. I'm just sharing information that you guys can then now go and research it, whether it's the Indigo Children, whether it's Matias, whether it's Joe Dispenza, there's just a lot, whether it's reading Many Lives, Many Masters, and, meeting up with, Neil Donald Walsh, who wrote Conversations with God and did a trilogy, 3 books around that, and has many other books right now, or whatever that looks like, or you don't do anything. That's the beauty of it, right? I feel for me and for the people of the work that I am here to share with and expand with, that my soul is here for this expansion, this growth, and this karmic expression, so that I hope that when I choose to leave here, or when I'm no longer back into this physical body, right, that I do transition into the place. Because according to Matias, or according to a lot of this research, we get bored being in another universe or being in another space, and all of a sudden, okay, no, well, you know what? I want to go back down there because that's where the shit show is. So,
Welcome to the shit show.
And this is where you come to really come and work through things, and it's karmic expressions and relationships that you haven't had, or that you didn't meant.
Do you believe that our fate in afterlife is contingent upon how we pass through here?
Do I believe that our fate?
Yeah.
essentially heaven or hell, I think, is kind of
Like if I kill myself, will whatever is about to happen to me be the same as if I just go from natural cause?
Natural cause of killing yourself. I feel when you kill yourself.
And I don't like that term, but
Do I use that one?
no, I said I don't like that term. I don't like to say kill yourself. I like self-transition.
Well, let's just say unalive yourself. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's the new thing, unalive.
So, okay, so.
I hate that term.
unalive is stupid.
It's really corny.
Okay, that's a very interesting question, and I'll tell you what that makes it interesting for me, because I had a friend that got shot. He had a bullet go through the head coming out of Broadway, and then he got totally into being able to explain about out of dimension, and he saw the lifetimes that he had with the person that shot him, and forgave him to be able to end his relationship and karmic by being shot, coming back, getting killed somehow and coming back. And I met this man, and we did that work. So what I believe around that.
Shooter got lucky, boy.
Yeah, I'm serious. I mean, he's still alive. He lives in Washington and has a radio show about extraterrestrial life, right?
Okay.
You can literally put your hand where the bullet went through and everything else. But what I feel is that we have these karmic expressions and relationships that, for me, I'm hoping, my prayer is that I can be able to keep peace and make sure that everything that I have before me has fully been loved, non-judgmental, and being able to be expression of pure love, so that when I do leave here, I don't want to, I'm going to have to do whatever my soul is here to have other experiences about, but I feel that when I transition from here, this is not the planet I'm going to come back to.
Are there some things, because Joe, I think a lot of people are probably interested or at least want to know more. Are there some books or some things that you would recommend for people listening or watching?
She named 9
Yeah,
three
word.
books.
You said Indigo
Like, what would
Child.
be your number one? What would be your number one? Like, if you haven't seen this, read this yet, you should read this,
Well, for me, the first book always is Many Lives, Many Masters.
which is a crazy book.
Always.
Okay.
Then is, The Soul. You talked about it, Ian.
Soul Contract.
Show Contracts.
She made me read
right? Conversations with God.
Love
She
that
made
book.
you read it. They
Trilogy.
lining you up.
So let me ask you a question.
No. These books are.
So you named all 3 books. Why would people want to read those books? Obviously, they might have curiosity or they're interested in this form of discussion.
The only reason to read these books is if you are all open and or interested, as you're hearing terms being thrown out there today, that we're going from the 3rd dimension into the 5th dimension. What is the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th dimension coming back to the 1st? If you're all interested in being able to understand when you're saying you're in the Aquarius age and what that means, if you're all interested that the veil is being lifted, if you're all interested that COVID took us through a transition to show us that we're herds, not followers, we're followers, not leaders, and that they're using us to really be an experiment, is what I feel. And who is part of that experiment, who is not. If you're all looking to be able to come to terms with your own human expression and are inquisitive, doesn't have to change anything for you. Doesn't have to change your belief pattern. It doesn't have to change anything in your life, but introduce to you the if, how about, or the maybes, or the what ifs. If I came here, or if I'm here, is there something more outside of what I know? Because you only know what you know. What you don't know, you don't know.
I just respect. Well, let me just say I respect it because even just everything you're saying, it doesn't feel like a conversion conversation. None of this feels like you should do. Like, if you're interested, if you feel some type of level of understanding that I have, then cool, check it out. If you don't, what you're doing still works for you.
Right, that's fine.
Like, no one has the complete answers to any of this shit.
No, she got
Yeah.
a team of like psychic Avengers. That got the answers to some
Bullet holes in heads,
Yeah, she
radio
got a little-
shows.
she got a spot.
She got a
You know,
spot.
you can read Carl Jung. You can read, read Carl Jung's work. Read, this beautiful work around that. Living in the now. I mean, there's really. I have a library because I'm a seeker. I'm still seeking. I'm still looking to be able to be the best me, to bring the best experience to whoever is in my life. Because I choose to live this life from a place of full acknowledgement that the only day I have is today. Tomorrow, I am planning. I can have trips. I have a retreat coming up in Jamaica in February. I'm planning another one to Costa Rica. And I have things that I plan. But the only thing I'm really, 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 really certain about is that I'm sitting here with you guys right now. That's it. Yesterday, I can't do anything about.
No such thing.
I can't fix yesterday. I can't correct yesterday. I understand you very well because my mom passed in 3 months because they misdiagnosed her of cancer. So I understand. I've been down that rabbit hole. You talk about the rabbit hole. I've been down that rabbit hole. Doctors misdiagnosed her, right? Looking at it and being me and then finding spirit, because it's like, if I've been able to help other people, why can't I help my mother? I brought a shaman that I met at an event that I did in Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, New York, to try and help my mother. And he's like, why are you not letting her go? I go, I'm not ready. That's my mom. And then having to experience that, and then feeling her, seeing her, and I look so much like her, he can tell you that there's pictures that I look at myself and go, oh shit, right? But being able to be in the conversation, and the only thing I want to leave your audience with is the knowingness that whatever works for you is already beautiful, it's enough, and unless you're looking to seek for more, and unless you're looking to say to yourself, is there more? Is there more than what I think there is? Then this It's just an open forum, an open conversation, and all I'm here to do is to serve as someone that is going to hold your space to know that you're going to be heard, you're going to be loved, not going to be judged, but you will be embraced for who you are. And I'm going to see the greatness in you because we're brothers and sisters.
Amen.
At the end of the day, we all bleed the same. We all have the same desires. We might not go for the same things in life, but whatever you are is enough. You don't have to be more than what you are already. You're already beautiful for me. And that's the only thing I want to leave everybody with.
I think I just got one more question. I don't know who else.
Yeah, 'cause that was a great ending.
Yeah, it really
great
was.
stepping on. But
Here comes some bullshit.
Nah, it's the bullshit. It's the bullshit. It's the bullshit because
Can we edit and put this before?
Yeah, word.
no, this is bullshit because when we met, obviously it was with E. I'm kind of known as having these toxic-esque relationships in my life, and we've talked about her on the show. And I know about the ayahuasca retreat, the famous retreat that I don't have to do because I've passed the ayahuasca test spiritually.
That's Fran.
That's Fran. She came home one day from a mushroom journey, right, with her shaman or whatever they were doing, and she uses this term now, or she's used it. You're my person. She is firmly believed that I'm her person. That you still believe that, right?
Mad hoes. You still believe that,
She
right?
got
You
him.
believe that?
No, it's that because that's her feeling. Do you believe that you see people in other lives, and do people have people that they travel with or that they continue to move with? Do you believe in that?
I absolutely believe that we all have people we're going to connect with. That could be for a day, a minute, a second, a week, or a lifetime. It's a journey. She can choose you, but are you choosing her?
Have you ever replied back and
Have you
said,
ever
and said,
replied
you're
back
my
to-
person too? What do you say when she
And
says,
is there a time limit
you're
on
my
that?
person?
Time
Like, what do you
doesn't
say? Oh,
exist,
that's
right?
dope. That's dope as hell.
You know what? Honestly, what did I say the first time?
I'm your
You don't
person
even
too.
know.
You don't even know
No,
what
no,
you're
no,
saying.
no.
What
what
did
he
I
said.
say? You can say what did I say when you said that? I don't remember.
It's in text
It's in
message?
text.
Oh, shit.
Oh, so y'all don't give a
Y'all
fuck
ain't-
about this
yeah,
person
yeah,
shit.
Yeah, y'all don't even talk. Y'all don't even talk.
Y'all don't even
Y'all
talk.
just text each other. Y'all don't even talk.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't care. Where'd you
Watch yourself.
Yeah, be careful.
Where'd you
Yeah,
go?
think about it first.
Oh, you came to
Think-
my house.
And y'all didn't
Oh
talk.
yeah, that's right. I
She
picked
came
her
to your
up.
house
I
and
picked
y'all
her up.
didn't
I
talk.
picked her
Y'all
up. I
text.
picked her up. She said she remembered being on a boat.
That's ancestral stuff.
But during the trip, she remember being on the boat, shackled up.
Wait,
And
wait,
Wait, what? You black?
Y'all race players getting too crazy. Too crazy.
wait.
No, you don't.
What era was this?
Wait. You don't.
Harriet Tubman? Like, wait,
Listen, you don't. From my understanding and reading these stories, you don't come back as a man or a woman, black, white. You can come back as anything. So you can be a slave owner in this life, or a slave or a slave owner in one life, right?
Wait, you were a slave?
Yes.
who told who?
She's
Wait,
a sex slave.
who's saying these things?
Y'all some freaky
Who is
motherfuckers.
saying these things?
I feel like we need to
Wait,
separate
wait,
this
wait,
conversation
wait,
from all this great shit that we
wait.
talked about before.
No, this was like in Viking times. This is
Oh, shit.
This was past life stuff.
In the
Ancestral stuff.
Man, let my girl be a sex slave. Chill out.
Let me. Holy shit, Keno.
The Keno Show.
You are
the Keno Show.
Everybody sitting for the
Keno Show.
Wait, what did she call the Matrix people again? Who?
The Indigo.
Indigo children.
The Indigo children. Yeah, they lied to you. Dog, this is a wrap for you.
Why?
Cause
I see Get Out.
You're getting some shit from your girl. Then you're calling to check it out, but you're calling your girlfriend. It's like you in
Yeah,
a
this
wild,
is a friend of your.
That's a wild
Yeah,
little
but come on.
ecosystem.
They said you're in a
got going
spiritual
on. And you're
Ponzi
not
scheme.
really ready for all this shit that they're talking about.
It's just a little spiritual Ponzi
You're
scheme
not
going
really
on.
ready for one day. I now agree with the original premise in the dream. Send him back. He is not ready for what's behind this door. Yeah. Give it another year or so. and then dream again. But right this second,
Why do you think
you go through that door, the Viking slaves gonna be there. They gonna fuck you up.
Oh, man.
Be careful, man. That's all I'm saying.
And why is
Be
she
careful.
impeding her slave dream on him?
Because as I was stuck there, like in that.
Like we can't hear you, but I want to just paint the picture for the audience that obviously, well, not obviously, but Keno's significant other is of white descent,
We've talked about that.
and
Right now.
Yeah,
though.
but we
Right
didn't
now.
talk about
Yeah,
it with the
this
Viking
lifetime.
slaves.
right, but with her being a slave in her past life, and now dating you,
Yeah, just like that.
and you being her person, like there is some type of
Malcolm in the opera shit going on.
some weird energy going on
This
here.
is Get Out, man. I seen it in the movie.
Some weird energy going on
Yeah.
here.
I fuck with her and I fuck with her. It's you though.
What am I doing?
It's you. Cause this is deep. I'm not ready yet either though.
No,
I'm
I'm
gonna
ready.
go home
I'm
and
ready. I'm
process
ready.
some of this
Fran,
shit.
am I ready? Do you believe
Are
I'm
you?
ready? I believe I'm ready.
So then you are.
Thank you.
You want to be ready,
I'm okay with whatever comes.
but do you
I'm
want to?
okay with whatever. Y'all know me like that. I'm okay with whatever comes.
Get that asshole nice and
what,
juicy.
what happens is that your journey with her, and you, even like with Ayu, when you asked me that I said to you you need it, it's because you're in different frame. Like you're going to be going through these dreams. You're going to be going through,
I wish we would have ended.
Right?
Yeah, like we had the
You're gonna
great
look
ending.
at it and say to yourself, how is my experience with her? How my evolution with her, right? Because for me, and ayahuasca is something that calls you. I don't go do ayahuasca because I think it's cool or somebody's doing it or it's going to happen in a place. No. Ayahuasca and mushrooms or, doing, like I know people that are doing LSD right now, for more about microdosing it to be able to get to places that they can't get to their brains in a way where I say when you do breath work or when you do Kundalini, you can't get there. That's why Sting does Kundalini, right? Because you can have that through your breath. But that being said, it's her experience, your experience, and however that synchronizes, whatever she's experiencing, whatever you're experiencing, is whatever you guys want to come together that feels beautiful and expansive for you both. Where I think we make mistakes. For me, I don't ever want to be in a relationship that I want to say to this is my person for the rest of my life, because I think it's bullshit. We're either going to grow together, we're either going to expand together, we're either going to be able to know that we got each other. Why are some people, I always ask people who are married for 20, 30, 40, 50 years or whatever, what kept you together? What keeps two people together is holding that space for each other, right? Because if we stay in there because it's what you need to do, because it's the right thing, you're not going to like each other. Mm-hmm. So why be in it? Why be in it if you're not going to be in that energy and in that growth and in that expansion? So for me, relationships are beautiful. Like I said, today.
Well, Corey doesn't have relationships.
Like you tomorrow. Huh?
Corey doesn't have relationships, so it doesn't really matter for him.
That's fine. That's whatever works for Corey.
Yeah, he's safer that way.
Whatever works for Corey.
And I do have relationships.
With us.
I have relationships. I just don't have them the way that they have them. I don't move people in my house. I don't kick them out. When I'm mad. I don't experience relationships the way
God damn.
the way they
fucking us
experience
up.
relationships, right?
But then again, it could be also, Corey, that you haven't met a person yet.
That's right.
Right? That you feel that this can be the person I want to keep experiencing things with. Because there's something still missing that you're like, heck to the no, you're not moving in with me, right? Or heck to the no, I'm going to keep doing my life. And that might be just your life, and it works for you. Mm-hmm. But there's that person that comes in your life that is the first thing you think about in the morning. Like I want to share, is the thing at 3 o'clock in the morning who I want to text or call. Is that person that you end the day and you're like, I can't wait to share what happened with, because you feel safe, you feel empowered, you feel loved, and you feel like, because listen, we all have the same organs. It's not about what you have. It's about who you are and what that person connects you with. And for how long that is. And maybe that person hasn't shown up for you yet. And maybe it's okay because you might not want to invite that into your life.
And
that's
maybe
also
maybe they
perfect.
have shown up and we had our time and then
And then, you know.
Yeah.
And then they left you.
Yeah.
Or you left them. And then
Or that.
Or that. Maybe. Or you missed
Or
out
you
on
left
it.
them. Yeah. We'll go with the first one. Holy shit.
oh
so,
man.
yeah.
Oh, Fran, make some noise for Fran.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Make
Thank
some
you.
noise. For,
Thank you.
oh, this was awesome. Again, thank you. I got to go home and prep for this next 2 years now. I'm going home to get ready. I'm a planner. Got to be prepped.
I'm looking forward to hopefully staying in your presence and your essence and witness what you're going to do because it's going to be beautiful. Thank you for bringing me into your circle.
Thank you. Keno, any final words? I think E got you. This is what I'm doing if I'm you. Go home, find the pot that she put the doll in. I think she put some dreamy spell on you.
And throw away all the food.
Yeah.
No spaghetti. Put that shit in the olive oil or something like that. You're not even noticing it.
Y'all should stop cooking together.
Wait,
so often.
because E introduced you to Fran, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that whatever's going on the Monopoly board, I think they're a few steps
Ahead of you.
How did you and E meet?
Well, we met through a cousin of
Oh,
hers.
there's our hint.
You know, so she worked with me in real estate, and I got blessed to meet the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't care. Wherever they are, whatever they're doing.
But you feel
I'm
safe.
cool. I'm cool. I'm
You
safe.
feel
I
safe.
don't necessarily feel safe and loved here when I'm with them. It's something about coming here every week and continuously being abused
They plotting on
by
making
people.
you better.
That's why I made sure you was here today because I knew I would have somebody here who in Parks too. Actually,
thank
just y'all too. But that being said, I always say this. Sitting in these seats, I always give this man credit. This is one of the hardest things to do. It is to just sit here and continuously figure out ways to advance the conversation that keeps people entertained. I'm always honored and blessed to be here. I always thank you guys for allowing me to be here and sharing these experiences that I'm going to read the message board and people are going to say, why the fuck is he still there? And I'll keep showing up. So
Yeah.
thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Keno show.
The Keno Show.
Everybody's listening to the
Keno
Keno Show.
Hey, go call your sisters. Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Everybody got work to do when they leave.
Got mad books to read.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, Patronies, we love y'all. Some of y'all should have been doing some soul searching too while we was getting read for filth.
true. Yeah.
We'll be back, same time, different day. Peace.
Neutral Budden.